when we left off, who wants to do our quick game review?
Will I get a bullet?
Sure.
Shit, can I see your note?
let me facilitate Chad's bullet. Would you like me to read them for you, Chad? No, you go right ahead.
Bring it.
Yeah, you're right. You go right ahead. Help yourself.
So, without these though, we not encountered, but we sort of gelled the group together of how we met and how we came together. We didn't go all the way back. We had been traveling together for about like a year. We did the reveal of Joe's horrible deal, and then we all came together of like, we are going to fix this. Had some opportunities come our way with the wine, and then there's some weird conspiracy with St. Louis and another house wanting us to make wine that can compete with another town. Herman? Defiance. We're Herman. And we're like, yes, we're totally going to do that. We're going to make it better. It's going to be awesome. But out of character, there is some shit going on that we don't understand that's going to bite us in the ass. It's going to be awesome.
Monimar now understands that underwear only comes off when you do business.
That's right. We had to deal with the dock workers. Not Teamsters, what are they called? Longshoremen. Yeah, we had to deal with the longshoremen in the town. They went on strike because a different house, our House Culler used to own Herman, right?
It was under the control of House Culler, and now it has been transitioned to the control of House Holloway.
Is being transitioned.
So in midst of transition.
Yeah.
So it's not a done deal.
So the guys the longshoremen were like, okay, well, this other house is going to take over, and they said that since everything is retooling for this new industry we're going to make of not making rot gut and weird shit, we're going to make like high quality crap. They're going to be out of the job at least for like a year, but that means they don't eat, and then we have some plans to kind of help alleviate that, and we made a lot of promises that we might not be able to carry through on. So
yeah, we paid them to build barrels because the wine we had was going to be dumped out. So instead of dumping it out, we have barrels to fill it into so we can go and sell it at pure profit. Mm-hmm. We take a cut of what we go sell, and they take the vast majority of it.
Yep. Because we look at it as an investment, because we want them working because we feel that our plan to expand the fine wine industry in Herman is going to require a lot of infrastructure, buildings and winery, all that stuff that goes into making wine, and we're going to expand production, which means we need buildings and equipment and stuff, and we want to transition the longshoremen to building that stuff so they can eat and we have the stuff. And
right. The conflict, of course, being that in order to do all of these things, we need resources, and their concern is we are not going to have the foodstuffs and resources to survive a winter so we're never going to get this off the ground because we're all going to die.
Yeah, and we are focused on getting them through that so that they are basically working for us.
Right, but I mean, for me, the real crucial thing was, though, that their gang leader, if you will, Leland Crawford, kidnapped the mayor's daughter, the mayor's granddaughter, and was using her
Not the
as
mayor.
I'm sorry.
The man who's really in charge.
Yes. The man behind the throne, Thomas Barnes. You're right. Yeah, not the mayor. That's correct.
I would actually more describe him as the man beside the throne. He is not in cahoots with the mayor, nor is he the man who manipulates the mayor. The mayor is his own man. It's just when you control this much wealth in a town of this size, it's very hard for him, him being the mayor, to exercise any real authority. Mm-hmm. Now, you guys actually did not talk to him.
We did not.
Which is probably a good thing, to be honest with you.
You would have made one more set of promises to somebody.
He probably would have used Motimar's last bullet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
yeah, I still, I mean, as a side note, I think that there's a line of Motimar T-shirts in the future of this game. I mean,
with random quotes.
Is it going to have just a quote that says, "What's a Mowgli"?
Thank you.
Yeah.
What's a Mowgli?
I believe
Lee,
it's
what's a Mowgli?
Mowgli bullshit. What was
Yeah,
was the
Mowgli,
quote?
no bullshit.
Mowgli, no bullshit.
And
Yeah.
on the back of it, it's going to be "Dead puppies, dead puppies, dead puppies."
I think on every Motomar t-shirt, the back of it is dead puppies, dead puppies, dead puppies, regardless of the front. Yeah.
Okay, so it is the following morning. Your departure from Herman on your laden ship was delayed a bit because of the fact that you guys got caught up in all that stuff. But in addition to now having felled some trees and starting to move some lumber and begin building the barrels, the general labor pool of the town has also loaded your ship. So the following morning, once another cool crisp autumn morning, you guys get up and you meet down by the docks and, well, the landing and are getting ready to depart. They're doing kind of the final check on, what is the name of the boat again? I know it's Vine.
It's Miss Lily's Vine.
Miss Lily's Vine. Okay. So they're doing the final check on Miss Lily's Vine. And Alejandro is, right, he's the head of your team of 6 workers. And so they're kind of checking everything, checking the planks, making sure the cargo is secured. And you guys are either on the boat or milling about the shoreline at the north side of Herman.
Lee is trying his damnedest to stay out of the way and in turn getting under everyone's foot with his complete incompetence when it comes to matters of boating.
Okay. Joe, as you're standing on the shoreline, your mother emerges from town and comes scurrying up towards you.
Okay. I'll before I break away, I'll say, Lee, I think that you could probably do the most good standing over there, and just observe and make sure that nobody drops anything. And I'm going to try to usher him, on shore, maybe 20 paces away from the gangplank.
Lee's like,
Just over here, you'll be great. They'll be fine. Just keep a good eye on them. You're very observant. Just make sure that nothing gets dropped or missed.
I'm on the boat with a clipboard as things are loading up. I'm marking them off, doing inventory.
Well, I'll go approach my mother.
Okay, your mother, she walks up to you and says, "Oh, Jimmy, don't tell me you're leaving again so soon. We hardly got to see you."
I'm sorry, Mom. We have to be going.
Well, she takes the hat, the gambler's hat you're wearing. She says, "At least don't wear this raggedy old thing. It stinks. And it's probably bad luck."
Mom, I don't mean to be disrespectful, and I'm going to take that very gently.
I had a nightmare about that hat.
Mom, this is Pop's hat.
And what happened to Pops? Jimmy, if you die, do you understand that your father and I mean, we're going to be alone.
Mom, I have something important I have to tell you, but we can't talk about it right now. I promise when I get back.
Well, so you're just going to leave and not tell me anything? How long am I going to have to sit here and worry myself sick?
I don't know, Mom. But I've got... I'm just going to snatch the hat back from her. I'm going to put her on and say, Mom, I have to go.
When you snatch the hat back from her, you find that you're actually grabbing something else by accident in the process.
Okay.
It is a knit shawl, knit out of this bright blue woolen yarn. Mm-hmm. And upon seeing you snag that by mistake, she takes it and puts it around your shoulders. This thing's awful. And
awfully sweet.
It's going to get cold while you're out there. At least wear this.
Yes.
Don't get sick.
It's June.
Yes, ma'am. I'll wear it, and I'll proudly put my damn blue shawl on.
I don't want you to go the way of your Uncle Marty and just die of some stupid disease. Get out there
Yes, ma'am.
get pneumonia.
All right. Is that it, Mom? Is that you just wanted to give me the shawl? Is that okay?
Well, no, that's not it, but that sounds like that's all you're going to...
Man, you could have walked away. But no, you got to get the last word in.
But it sounds like that's all you're going to take from your poor mother. So, well...
I'm going to kiss her on the cheek. Mom, I love you. I won't be gone that long.
Promise?
I can't promise, but I promise I'll do my best.
Well, I guess that'll just have to be enough.
All right. Tighten my shawl as I walk away from her.
Motimar's carrying a couple boxes off the shore, and as Joe walks up, nice shawl.
As you get on the ship, Alejandro's like, well, if anyone sees you against the sky, they might not notice you.
Captain Bluebird on board.
Lee walks up behind you, goes, just imagine I said something clever and biting.
Yeah. All right. Everybody back to work. And I'll start barking orders about,
Lee starts getting under people's feet again. And, I'm helping!
I'm going to try not to lose my temper because in my mind, Lee is really doing me a solid, so I'm not going to yell at him, but I'm going to try to usher him away from other people and maybe get him to sit on, on a gunwale and just out of the way a little bit.
And he's legitimately wanting to help. He's just really terrible at this because it's like a lot of physical work and effort.
Yeah, and Casey, his heavy, he's actually doing a pretty good job of staying out of the way. Now, it's a cramped boat, so there's not a huge amount of room to begin with. You guys are always going to be under each other's feet, just how it is. But he's standing up against one of the gunwales with the pole, preparing to try and shut off once the mooring lines are actually thrown in and the boat is unleashed.
Is my mother out of earshot?
Yes.
All right, boys, hurry it up. We got to make room for my mom's guild trip. It's gonna take up a lot of space in the hold, so make way. And just keep ushering us as soon as we are loaded up and everybody is on the vessel. I'll look at Casey and just give him a hand signal to push this thing away from the dock and let's get sailing.
The guys on shore, Leland's there to see you guys off and seems a whole lot cheerful than the last time you saw him. And he's there to wave you guys off, and they untie the lines and throw them back up on the ship, which you guys stow in place. And with a push of the pole, Casey has you guys offshore, and you are now floating down the Missouri River, the good old muddy Missouri, towards the muddy Mississippi, which is largely made muddy by the Missouri. Well, made muddy by quite a few things, but Missouri doesn't help. But you guys are now headed down the Missouri River on a trip that actually right now does not have a definitive destination, because now, Wayne, comes the question of where do you offload this wine?
Yep.
Now,
So where is Joe at on the boat?
So, if I remember the picture of the boat that you've got posted correctly, there is basically not a proper boat house, but there is sort of, low walls and a roof, right? That lead, so that basically above the stairwell that goes down to the hold proper. Is that right?
Sort of. Okay, so your boat exists in two levels. All right, so below the main deck is where the cargo's stowed, and some of that's below waterline, especially when the boat's laden. On top of that, now it appears to be somewhat short. Partially, it is a little short to begin with, but also because of the fact that the deck itself sits below the gunwales, and once you load the ship, obviously it sinks down a bit. But there is a boathouse, or a boathouse. There's a structure built on the boat that I want to say is something, and I actually have the dimensions worked out somewhere, but I want to say somewhere in the neighborhood of about 20 feet long and about 12 feet wide. And on the inside of that is double or triple stacked. One's going to have this written out somewhere. I don't have it with me. But are these hammocks that you guys sleep in. And then at the head and foot of each of these pairings of hammocks is a foot locker. So one at the head belongs to one hammock, one at the foot belongs to the other hammock. And so within that, I think it's like 6 per wall, if I remember right. So you can actually put all 12 of you in there at once. And so that's the layout of the boat. Mm-hmm. And there are a couple points where you can access the below deck cargo area. Okay. One of them is inside of that little house. One of them is outside of it. And also on back, you've got the main rudder, but then on either side of the main rudder, which works out okay because the rudders is actually manipulated from atop the roof of that.
Right.
But right by the back, the rudder and back are 2 horses.
So I will be on the roof next to. I assume I would have Alejandro on the rudder since he spent a lot of time with Miss Lily. He spent a lot of time working the river. So I'm going to have him on the rudder, and then I'm going to be standing next to him on top of that small roof, just observing the water, keeping an eye on the crew, but also watching the river.
What month is this?
It is October.
So I come up and I hop up on the roof and I have kind of a seat with my feet dangling off the edge of it. All right. Your mom give you a hard time again?
I am a little bit. She's my mom. She's concerned.
Did you tell her?
No, I did not. It didn't seem like the right time.
No reason she needs to worry. We're going to take care of this.
I know, but my parents deserve to know the truth.
Yeah.
And everybody involved deserves.
Let's have some good news before you have to tell them, though.
Yeah, something to ease the pain. I think that would be helpful.
It's bad enough when we go out. Like I don't want to work the farm, but the families don't. They don't understand. You're
right.
They just know we're gone.
You're right.
Brodor, out of curiosity, how hard do you want to push the boat on this voyage? Because just going with currents and a little bit of manpower, you can make it about 15, give or take, miles a day. And
that's if there's no problem.
Yeah, if there's no problems.
Like river pirates.
Which is a possibility. And also, you're going to have to make the decision, do you want to port in town or away from towns, both of which have their obvious ups and downs? Because porting around people can either be more safe or more dangerous, depending on what their disposition is.
So I think that is going to boil down to, honestly, the advice of my 2 chief counselors, which are going to be Lee and Philip, right?
Call them together.
So I think that the thing to do... At this point, desperation has not set in terms of the reality of the contract, right? So I don't want to push the crew, to their absolute hardest, right? Because I just don't think that's necessary at this point. I think that doing a normal, just standard pace down the river is absolutely fine. Because I don't want to work people to the bone. With that said, I do want to get Lee and Philip together so we can figure out what are the areas where we are most likely going to, most importantly, be able to trade goods. And secondly, where are going to be the safe places to moor the boat? Are there towns that they would advise against mooring the boat at?
Okay.
Lee's at the front of the ship.
All right, I'll call to him then. Because it's just a small building. Lee!
He turns around. He's reading a book. It's like a hardcover book. And he puts his finger in there, and he trots up. He looks up. What's up?
We need your help.
And he's like 3 feet. Like, okay. What do you need?
I'll hop up. I'll give him a hand to pull him on top of the roof.
He has like this satchel that he carries with him, and he pulls out a piece of blue ribbon, and he marks his place in the book, and he puts it in his satchel.
Okay. not realizing that he's still wearing the blue shawl, I take off the blue shawl and kind of set it aside. Put it
as you do, Alejandro. Laughs at you.
So,
are you going to wear that?
I think you should.
only when I'm in eyesight of Herman.
Brother, I think you should.
I'll wear it. I get cold, man. I don't care what these people think.
It's warm. It's bright colored.
Right.
I can't come up with a reason not to wear it.
I mean, imagine pirates attack. Everybody's fighting. Only the pirates are going to attack the guy in blue. There's not going to be any friendly fire to the guy in the blue shawl.
Anyway, we need to figure out.
You notice that at the end of the last trip, and it looks like it's starting with this one again. Every time Lee talks about pirates, his eyes light up. He's even asked you last time a little too many times, do you think we'll see river pirates? And you're like, oh God, no! I hope not.
Yeah, I hope we don't see a river pirates. But in all seriousness, we need to figure out where we're going. So I need your advice on two things. One, what are going to be the best places for us to unload this cargo favorably? And two, where are places where we're going to be safe to moor the ship at night?
Well, we've mostly been going south once we hit the Mississippi, because it's not easy going north. I mean, we have to go back north when we come back up, but we haven't hit a lot of the towns up north. My books are a little outdated on those towns, so they're not getting our merchandise in the past.
Okay.
Maybe there's an open market there we haven't tapped yet.
Can I make a roll of some sort? Lee's not going to know where the best trade parts are. That is Philip's job, and he's got the book.
I was actually going to have him make a roll in that in a moment. But
what I'm curious about is, do I know anything, now maybe my information is a little out of date, of what civilization is like to the north? Where he's suggesting we go. I mean, is it East Country, and then Mortimer can give us the intel on that, or is it going to be more civilized? Do we have a lot of trade? Are we at war with somebody up there? What's the geopolitical landscape?
Okay, let's take. I want to do a couple things in turn here. I'm going to start with Brodor. Give me an intelligence plus riverboat captain. So you get 3 dice. Pick your top 2.
So that would be smarts and riverboat captain, right?
Yes.
All right. So 9 plus smarts, that's 14.
Okay.
So average.
All right. So that's fine, because this would be something that's an average observation of yours. All right. Going base, you know that if you decide to turn south, the biggest thing that is going to meter your journey, and probably the biggest known threat you're going to face, is the chain of rocks. All right, for anyone who's listening to this who's not familiar with the geography of the Mississippi River, on the northern part of the Mississippi in relationship to Missouri, or to St. Louis rather, there is a natural upheaval of rock underneath the Mississippi River. And what happens is, in good waters, the water there is relatively fast. In bad waters, the water's not only fast, but is actually sufficiently shallow that if you don't ride it right, that's going to be the end of your boat. And also because it's jutting up, it collects crap, which is why in the modern day they've actually bypassed that with the Chain of Rocks Canal, which is a canal that actually cuts over on the Illinois side to get around that formation of rocks. And so now that is still in operation, but it's going to cost you to get through it. All right. But looking at the river conditions right now, and given what you have heard during your time in Herman about the state of the Mississippi, you think if you make pretty good time and choose to go south, it should be within a window where you can safely cross the Chain of Rocks. Okay. So that's issue 1 now. All right. So I'm going to go to Chad next, because what Chad finds out might change Wayne's question or not. So, all right, Chad, let's go next. So, what do you have that's relevant skill-wise?
Nothing.
Nothing.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because I'm, except that the history
Sure.
of my past.
I think it's fully plausible, so just give me an intelligence plus straight 2d6.
2d6?
Yeah, 2d6, no special anythings to this. It's just
14.
14.
Oh, no, I'm sorry. 15. I know how to.
15, right, okay.
There's a 1 and a 4. So
Okay.
my math
is hard.
So from what you know, because having spent several years as a member of House Color, you certainly would have been, actually you wouldn't have just overheard discussions, given the fact that you were masked, it was your job to be educated, you would have been probably educated on these things. Now, what you know is to the north, because of the geography of St. Louis, because St. Louis juts out in something of a C shape. So, as you can see here, the rivers kind of wrap around St. Louis. So, for purely geographic reasons, St. Louis has to control some of the areas to the north. Now, the area to the north, they don't control as well as they do the areas to the south. All right, so what you're going to hit is the patrols are going to get a little bit more sparse. The biggest threat in the area in terms of like IS or bandits or whatnot is the Carver clan, which is off to the west. You're probably not going to run into them up north, but there is at least a moderate chance of running into smaller, more independent IS groups, raiders, river pirates, if you want, up to the north. You also know that if you get a good distance up north, and I don't even mean a huge distance, like I don't mean you have to make it to Iowa, if you just make it a little bit of a ways up north, you're also going to start getting into areas where St. Louis's currency is less and less common. So instead of coming back with something nice and portable, like a box of silver coins, you may be making a trade. Mm-hmm. So you may not be coming back with precious metals or gems or something that's more easily portable and more easily cashed out. Well, it's the closest thing there is to cash. Mm-hmm. You are probably going to be making a trade.
Though we might have a hold full of goats on the way back.
You don't know. It's really going to be roll the dice what's even up there. Mm-hmm. I mean, on the flip side, they could have something and totally not understand what it is.
Like goats.
Yeah, I'm sure. But
machine parts.
Yeah, they could have like machine parts or
goats.
Machined goats.
Not robot goats.
Die cut goats. They're just plastic printed. So, all right, Wayne, give me Smarts plus Merchanting, because this is now.
It is, isn't it?
Okay, you take the 2 highest.
Top
for that?
2, yes.
Okay. So
for you, it's like what, a 1 and a 2. Okay.
I rolled a 2, a 3, and a 4.
Okay. Yeah, I know. I see that. If we were playing some kind of poker, I'd be impressed.
So 14.
$4.
So, all right, Wayne. You know that probably the best place to get a lay of what's going on is going to be wherever the news comes in. The farther you get from any place the news comes in, the harder it's going to be, obviously, or the less likely it is that anyone's come through and knows what's going on. And so probably the best place to get information on where you might offload this cargo is going to be St. Louis itself.
Yeah, I was thinking that.
Now, you might be able to find out things along the way if you're willing to possibly take not as much of a cut on this, maybe have less profitable of a trip, possibly even a break-even trip. You might be able to unload it sooner. You don't know what's going on with the whole thing between Defiance and Herman. However, because Defiance is making a higher quality drink, to be blunt, there are going to be people in Defiance that want drunk switch alcohol, and that's what you've got. So the fact they're not making it does create...
So, like, Defiance people can't afford to buy their own booze, and that they might be hungry for crap booze?
It's certainly not in the quantities.
Oh, yeah.
Because it's a higher-end wine, so you're not going to be able to afford it in the quantities.
Right.
Especially if you are lower class, which there's not a huge middle class anymore. So if you get in within that lower class,
damn near serfs.
Yes, I mean not quite, but it's not a whole lot better than that.
Well, we are kind of like yeomen, freeholders, but yeah, I think most people are kind of bound to not quite feudal lords, but
so Wayne, probably the biggest thing that concerns you, and Chad, you would think about this as well, is there's clearly some kind of power play, or you don't know what, going on between House Color and House Holloway. And to get so if here's Herman, eventually you are going to have to make the decision to either port or not port in or around Defiance. You don't know what's going on with this. This could be opportunity, this could be hazard, this could be neither. But that's eventually going... Now, that's too far for a single day. Unless you guys choose to continue in the night, which has its own list of dangers.
No, it's a bad call.
Yep.
I mean, my eyesight is arguably the best on the ship, and I am opposed to doing it.
I think we should go to Defiance. Not in one night, but
If nothing else, we might be able to learn what's going on.
yeah,
So
and we might be able to buy some of their product.
So what you're saying is that the risk of going to Defiance is outweighed by the potential rewards of us going to Defiance in terms of information and being able to offload the wine that we have.
I think we might be able to. Now, correct me if I'm wrong, Philip. We might be able to turn a profit in cheap wine that we can turn over really quick. Buy some of the Defiance wine, and while we're there, tour their facilities, see how they do things, take notes, make improvements when we come back.
So spy.
Yes.
Yeah?
Okay. I'm going to call Motamar. Hey, Motamar!
Yeah.
So,
You gonna wear that?
so
I'll trade you.
I've traded.
We're talking business up here.
Oh,
Start
shit.
taking my pants. Hold on.
no, it's not that kind of business.
All right, now, brother, I want to hear this out. What are you going to trade him?
It's mine. Lee can wear it when it's cold if I'm not using it.
It matches
if
his
my-
pretty eyes.
It does.
If my mom catches me without that, I'm more afraid of her than I am of him, and I point at Casey.
He has probably is just he's staring off at the passing trees
So-
and doesn't even notice.
So, yes, I'm keeping it. No, I'm not wearing it unless I have to.
Okay.
Sounds like a waste.
I was just going to say that.
We got things on the ship we're keeping, not using.
right.
Don't we usually just throw those overboard?
I pick up the damn shawl and I wrap it around my left arm. There, I'm wearing the damn thing.
Isn't that going to get in the way while you're on the boat?
It makes it hard to swim if he falls over.
Yeah.
At this point, Joe actually I lose my temper. I slam my foot down on the roof and I say, "Enough. We're talking serious business."
Motamar, don't.
When you do that, you hear a muffled squeal.
Muffled squeal?
Yes, like a high-pitched noise.
I dig on my gun.
I'm below looking up, so it was. I heard it like directly in front of me.
Give me just 2d6 plus perception. Oh no, you have scouting.
I do have scouting.
Give me 3d6 plus perception. Pick your top two dice.
I got box cars.
So roll another d6 and add it on.
So 16. That is a 25.
Okay. No, this came from straight down and below. Okay, you guys were ported on, well, actually the port side of the ship. That's what it's named for. But you guys were ported on the port side of the ship, so you had to do a turn to get out of town. It sounds like it was coming from the lower starboard side of the ship, so the right side of the ship, and you don't think it was on the ship, like as in the ship. The noise, the way it echoed...
Port is left.
Yes,
Yep.
port is left. It was originally actually larboard and starboard, and they in the 1800s, they changed it to port because larboard and starboard was getting too easily misunderstood.
When you're drunk, when you're hopped up on rum and whores.
But another bit of little trivia for you was it was called the larboard because I can't remember precisely how it worked out, but it was an archaic version of that was where like they would load the larder materials on from, and it comes from something like that. And the starboard, it's actually because that's where the steering board or the usually the control for the rudder was, and so that's where starboard came from.
Port is to the left.
Port's left. Well, Wayne, if you need a mnemonic, port and left have the same number of letters.
We don't need a mnemonic. We just wrote it down
Oh, okay.
on our standees.
So starboard squeal.
Yes, starboard squeal, and the way it echoed off of the water and the trees, you don't think it was in the boat.
But maybe perhaps on the side of the boat?
Yes.
All right. So as soon as I hear it, I just immediately jump and draw my knife and go down like onto the side of the boat with one hand on the boat.
You are right now.
Jesus.
You hear a high pitched scream. You are right now like face to face, knife ready, hanging off the side of the boat with Emily, the granddaughter of Barnes, who is holding on to a rope that does not appear to be part of the boat. You're not sure where she got it from. That is lashed to the side of the ship, and she is simply hanging on to it.
Women are bad luck.
How old was Emily?
Emily is about 12 or 13, you think?
Okay. All right. I'll put the knife away because I know Joe wouldn't want me to cut this little girl. And,
Well, I'm glad something stopped you.
and
I was going to say, Mike almost ruined the game because Joe was so upset. Anyway.
and then I'll lean forward and I'll say, "What are you doing, Emily?"
She's like, please don't kill me.
All right. I'll say, I'll do like a chin up, and I'll look at the guys and I'll go, "It's Emily," and then I'll go back down.
What the hell?
What?
Pull her up. Pull her. Don't let her fall in the river. Pull her up.
So is her hand caught or something? I mean, how's she holding on this long?
She's got her hand wrapped up in a rope.
Okay.
I yell to the crew member, anybody milling on the
Casey
deck.
walks
like,
over and just reaches down with one hand and just picks her up like a toy.
Yep.
And just she lets go of the rope and he just drops her on the deck, like not hard, but
Yeah.
rather.
No, he spikes her like a football. Like, score!
Score, and then yeah.
Joe, this is bad news. Her grandpa is not going to be happy.
I know. I'm already calculating to myself in my head how long have we been gone? How long is it going to take us? How much time is this going to set us back if I turn the vine around and take Emily back home?
We don't have to turn around. Oh, wait, you haven't said anything.
Emily, what are you doing on my ship? On my boat?
I came because I was scared. Because I overheard Grandpa say that I'm not safe in Herman.
He's right.
And yesterday, I saw that Mr. Crawford listens to you. He doesn't like my daddy, but he likes you. Or my granddaddy. He doesn't like Grandpa, but he likes you.
I kind of lean down. Mr. Crawford likes money, and we promised him some. But you were right to come with us. I look at you. I say, we don't have to take her back. Do you know why?
No, Lee, but I'm sure you're going to tell me.
Her grandfather. It's her grandfather, right?
Yes.
Her grandfather was the big man of the town. He could command well-armed, very dangerous men. He kind of looks over like Mortimer to hurt people. He can't do that anymore. So, I'm not saying we keep her for any other reason, but we don't necessarily have to turn the ship around for fear of people riding up on us and blasting holes in the ship to get the girl back.
No, I understand that. My concern
Is run a
that
very dangerous journey with a small girl. That's a valid concern.
And we have limited resources that would be another person taking from them.
She doesn't need much.
No.
but
Just playing devil's advocate.
how does this play out back home?
Please, Mr. Kreider. Please don't send me back.
What are the political optics of having a girl on board that
Consequences are that's the
Yeah.
word I would have used, but yes, as you said, optics.
I can find something to do. Your sail, I know how to sew.
Honey, you didn't do anything wrong. This isn't about you or what you did. It's okay. Are you hungry?
It's not about what I did wrong. It's about what I want to do right.
All right, I tip my hat back. All right, well, you know what, Emily, tell me what you want to do right.
I'm not safe back in Herman.
this is true?
You're not safe on this boat either. None of us are safe.
but I'm safer here. When Granddad couldn't protect me, you guys did.
What
And
do you,
so
what do you think your granddad's going to do when he realizes you're gone?
what I can tell you is my granddad, he earned his way where he got, and I'm going to earn my way up to someplace better too.
All right.
At least here, I'm a long way away from Mr. Crawford.
All right. Motomar, I have a very important job for you on the ship from here on out.
Yeah.
For the rest of this voyage, I need you to keep Emily safe. I need you to keep an eye on her, make sure she gets plenty of food, plenty of sleep, make sure she stays out of the way of the rest of the crew.
I can do that. You think we could get some rhubarb pie out of this?
Let's
Now there's a man who uses his head.
Emily, do you know how to read?
Yes?
I just look over at Lee. And, okay, we can find something for you to do on board.
Yep.
We sure can.
Just so I'm clear, it's Emily or
Emily with an A.
Okay.
Emily. Amelie.
Yeah. I leave it to you. Phil and I put her to work. There's tons of stuff we can do given books. Phil
Okay.
can absolutely use a secretary. And it keeps her off the deck. She's not moving stuff around. And here's my idea. Because
Lee, you are rapidly becoming the most complicated member of my crew.
I'm a complicated man with a dangerous past.
Nobody understands it but his woman, but he doesn't have a woman.
I do have a woman. Lee has a woman in his background. She's the school teacher in Herman. He's courting her. He wants to ask her to marry him. We're going to Defiance?
Defiance eventually. You'll have to stop somewhere in the middle.
We're going to Defiance. There's overland trade. We could pay somebody to send a message back to Herman explaining the situation so nobody loses their shit. I mean, everybody's going to lose their shit, but at least this will put a lid on it.
You're right.
I can write the letter.
All right.
Yeah.
I will leave that in your capable hands.
And I do not recommend leaving her with any nice folks we find in Defiance.
No, that's why I want Mortimer with her at all times, because Mortimer's out of earshot, I assume.
You're not sure there is an out earshot on the boat, but if you want to speak aloud so the mic gets it, but tell me you're whispering this.
So I am whispering this.
Yeah.
He's strange. There's an innocence about him, and I think that I don't know. I'm comfortable with him keeping an eye on her.
You're a very trusting soul.
Well, look at him.
What's he doing right now? Like, we're looking at him sort of
I'm hunched over and just like rolling back and forth, trying to make her smile. Rolling over, laying on my back, kicking my leg. She's not smiling.
No, she's not smiling in the least.
I just start doing a little hop dance.
When you're right, you're right.
All right, then
Maybe someday he'll be right.
start writing your letter. Everybody get back to work. Start giving orders unnecessarily so, superfluous orders, things that are already being done or that have already been done. I'm just going to reiterate those commands to people to have some semblance of fucking control on my boat, right?
Dan, I call Emily.
Yeah.
Emily over. I'm like, you said you could read?
Yeah?
Well, I think it's my duty to make sure that your education continues. Have you ever read, and he reaches into his satchel and he takes a book out. Have you ever read that?
No.
I want you to read it, and then when you're done, I want you to tell me about it and what you think about it, okay?
Okay, I can do that.
He hands you a book.
It'll be like one of the book reports that I did
Right.
for, I don't know, that ever named your teacher. So
No, he didn't. She's a woman. She doesn't matter to the plot.
Wow.
Need to know.
That wasn't me. I didn't do that.
Actually, I just wanted to see if
it was
you
a good
would
run.
I wanted to see if you'd spew food on Wayne.
I only spit take when it's not funny. That's what we've established. Yeah.
We got all 3 games into this AP before it got shut down, but it was a good run.
I, of course, do not actually believe that.
Right. I know.
So, Emily, did you ever travel with your grandfather?
No,
Okay. I was curious if you've been to any other towns.
I've been told that I traveled a lot more when I was little, but I don't remember much of it. As long as I can remember, I've been stuck in that house. I mean, I don't get to go outside even all that much.
You've got something unique when we come to these towns. I pull out one of my notebooks and I kind of show her some of my notes on one of these towns. I've stopped at most of the towns along the river. I've gotten to know some of them. Because of that, sometimes you overlook things. You don't remember ever being out of our town. You're going to notice differences that I might overlook. Keep your eye open when we hit a town. Look for things that don't make sense. Sometimes it doesn't mean anything. Sometimes you can make a profit on it.
So does that make you Watson?
He kind of smiles. You like Sherlock Holmes?
He's all right. I've read enough of it. I like Hercule Poirot better.
The little grass cells, Lee says as he walks by.
I think we're going to get along just fine.
All right, Brodor,
Mm-hmm.
knowing the lay of the land. All right, so here's where you are. Here's where Defiance is. In terms of a halfway point, you can either stop right about that bend in the river, and you're going to be stopping in a generally uninhabited area. It might be a lone house or something out there, but it's going to be generally uninhabited. Or you can push on into Washington, your call which. Where do you want to try and stop for the night?
So, Philip, Lee, how hospitable? Actually, Joe probably wouldn't say hospitable. How safe is Washington?
Oh no, he scared the shit out of the British.
I don't know what that means, but the town of Washington, on our way to Defiance, how safe is it?
Dan, what do we roll to,
What this one I'm not going to make you roll on. I mean, well, I'll give you a roll, see if you know something really obscure about it, but...
Well, no. I mean, I've been traveling this river.
Yeah. I mean, what you know about Washington, it's a way town along the river that is predominantly, it's an agricultural area, and agricultural more in terms of foodstuffs than what you guys produce, which is predominantly wine, with, only enough food really to feed yourselves and have a little bit left over. Washington is much more the reverse.
Okay.
So it's not a terribly dramatic area. The only thing that might cause a little bit of an issue is once in a rare while, if the Carver clan gets really desperate, they might attempt to run up here. Because it's going to be more worth their time than hitting Herman. Because from a pragmatic survival standpoint, getting drunk is nice. Food's better.
Right. So I'll ask Philip if there's anything else besides. Is there anything else that...
I'm going to pull out my book, check my notes, and see if I have anything interesting. Just a plain smarts, or...
Yep. Smarts plus merchantine.
Alright.
Well done, Wayne.
10.
What's your smarts?
He rolled a 1, 1,
7.
and 2.
Oh, excellent.
Nope.
Oh, perfectly safe.
All right.
That's as much as you know.
All right, then I'm gonna make the call and start. We're pressing ahead to Washington. We're gonna dock there for the evening.
These dice are going on timeout.
So start, barking at oarsmen and making sure that Alejandro, is comfortable with the rudder, and I'll keep my eyes out. Make sure that Mortimer and Amelie are safe and she is entertained and out of the way. And I assume Lee is off someplace writing a letter.
Emily actually spends most of the day inside of the house, or the structure on the ship, just reading the book that Lee gave her.
Okay.
She seems to be very studious about it. She seems pretty comfortable in there. She pretty much only comes out to either eat or go to the bathroom.
Okay.
Other than that, she doesn't. In fact, it's kind of the reverse. If anything about it was to bug you, it's not that she's obeying, it's that she's...
Not behaving like a child?
Yes, bingo.
Motomar will perch like on the roof, just watching, but he can hear everything that she's doing. So as she makes her way out, he'll drop down behind her and just kind of walk.
Yeah, she's usually on one of the hammocks. But give me a scouting and perception check. See everything your skill level to do.
That's a 16.
The only thing you ever catch her doing other than reading that book,
Drilling holes in the boat?
yes, and dropping sticks of dynamite down. No, is you do catch her at one point. She seems somewhat intrigued by the collapsed version of Casey's exoskeleton.
Okay.
But that's the only thing that you... she doesn't like do anything with it, but she at one point is looking it over and kind of poking and prodding at it a bit.
And it is weird.
It is freaking weird. It's literally a one-of-a-kind unit.
So for the most part, I assume that she just ignores me. But anytime she looks at me or engages me, the first thing I start talking about is Erica Poole. So what is she like?
Miss Poole?
Yeah.
Well, she's very businesslike.
Mm-hmm.
She's very humorless.
Mm-hmm.
Or at least she tries to be. When she's around Grandpa, she's always serious and humorless. And whenever she's talking to people in the town, my room, I can sneak out because the bedrooms surround the staircase. And so I can sneak out and look down the stairs. And I could hear her talking to people from the town. And with them, too, she's always serious. But sometimes when she's talking to the maid or when she's by herself, I don't think she's as serious as she pretends to be. I hear her laughing at jokes. I think I heard her crying once, too, though I don't know why. She's very loyal. She does exactly what Grandpa tells her to do. Sometimes speaks her mind. Usually doesn't, though. I don't think she believes a lot of the things that he tells her. But she does what she's told to do. She's... I think she's been the closest thing to a mother that I have.
So she'll be really grateful when we bring you back. And I start slicking my hair to the side. She got a fella?
You can't bring me back. That wasn't part of the deal.
I don't know.
What do you mean,
I don't know. I don't know what the deal is. What deal?
I read the book,
Yeah,
I behave myself, I help on the boat,
right?
and you guys keep me safe.
Yep.
And don't send me back.
We're going to go back eventually.
Okay, well, maybe when I'm, like, old and 30.
Uh-huh.
That's really old.
Actually, well, it's really not even in the setting. That's just,
No,
that's
I'd say for us, 19,
oh,
21,
yeah.
30 is old.
Well, when we go back, whether you go back or not,
All right, fine. Let's make a bet on it.
okay.
All right. So, you're agreeing to my bet?
Yep.
Okay. She takes out a piece of paper.
Why, Philip? Why are we on a ship of fools?
And she scratches a few things on it, and then she digs around a bit and pulls out a well of ink, and she's like, "Here, give me your hand."
Yep.
And she puts
Mark of the devil.
she puts some ink on your thumb, and it's like, "Put your thumb here on this piece of paper."
All right. I like touch my face with it. Like,
It's on your nose. I'm not cleaning that. You
Does
clean
my
it.
lawyer sense go on? Come on!
I just like,
I'm sitting up to read my book. I've got a nosebleed.
yeah, I just manhandle the paper so that there's like 8 thumbprints on it. Is that good?
That's good. Okay, so
I can make a little turkey.
that's no. I don't think we need to make a turkey. I just needed one thumbprint. Okay, so now here's how.
That's a good one.
Here's the game. All right. So I'm going to take. Fortunately, just like in all the books, you guys have playing cards. So I'm going to deal out 5 cards.
Okay.
All right. Do you know what these cards are? Can you read?
That one's red. That one's black.
Okay.
That one's black.
Well, okay, maybe you can at least.
That one's got a face on it.
Right. Okay. So this is a black one with round shapes.
Yep.
Okay.
I know that.
All right. This is a red one with round shapes.
Red and round. Yep.
Black and pointy.
Black pointy.
Red and pointy.
Mm-hmm.
This one has a picture of a man.
Yep.
Okay.
Upside down and top.
Right. Okay. So
Did I win?
we haven't played yet. I'm going to prove that I can read your mind.
Oh.
And if I can read your mind, then I get to become part of the crew.
Lee is seizing on the deck.
So I'm going to prove I can read it. So now I'm going to give you. I wrote something on this piece of paper.
Yeah.
Okay. Now I'm going to hand it to you, but you have to promise not to open it till we're done.
Okay.
But because you have it, you know that I'm not writing on it.
Okay. I hold it up in the air.
Okay. So now, no, you can put it. Can you like put it in your mouth? I don't know. Not. There you go. Perfect. Okay. So there's the 5 cards. I want you to take one in your right hand, that hand, and then one in your other hand. Okay, great. We're just going to get rid of those 2. So go ahead and put them aside. Just to get rid of them. Okay. So now, I want to prove that I can read your mind.
Uh-huh.
Your thoughts are as clear to me as the waves. I hear it all. All right. So I want you to now, of these 3 cards that are remaining, pick up 2. One in one hand, one in the other. Okay, go and get rid of those. Now, you see the one card you left for me?
Uh-huh.
I want you to open what's in your mouth and compare it to this card. I knew which card you were going to leave behind.
It's the black pointy.
It is. So, shouldn't you say, like, welcome aboard, matey?
Welcome aboard, matey. So what do you want me to do now?
Kill the captain.
I don't know. What is it? What do you do here?
I usually sit up there
And
look for bad stuff.
what should
Lee
you be
sits
doing
around
then?
and talks.
He so does.
That
And
sounds.
Philip's always reading a book like you do,
Uh-huh.
and Joe's usually like scuffing his feet and scratching his head.
Does Philip does Lee make Philip read books, or is that Philip's?
I don't know what makes Philip read books.
So, what's your name again?
Modemar. You can just call me Mo.
Mo? Okay. Mo. Let's be friends.
Okay,
That was easy.
that's what Joe told me to do anyway.
To be my friend?
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
So, see,
Well, you might be the first friend I've ever had.
best friends.
Best friends.
You wanna braid my hair?
Sure.
Sit down.
She begins braiding your hair.
Why do I feel like this is how Master Blaster started?
I walk out on deck with a book. I look up. I see this. I turn around. I walk back in.
Oh, no. If you walk in there, as soon as you walk in there, she's like, ahoy, matey.
Black and
I just
pointy.
I look and I. What?
Black and pointy. That's all I gotta say.
she holds up a contract.
I take the contract and I read
No, she
it.
does not let you take it. She'll
I
let you
get
pull
close
on
up.
it.
Yeah, I float enough to, so I'm reading it.
She is now a member of the crew. The sign up is that basically she has now been hired as a member of the crew on indefinite term, and will work for her room, board, and passage. And it's been signed by him.
I look at her and I smile. It's like, well played. I go out and I find Joe.
I'm up on top of the house. Yeah.
Hey, Joe. Mortimer hired her.
I don't understand. Hired who?
Emily.
Hired her to do what?
She wrote him a contract. He signed it to be a member of the crew. And I'm just smiling as I.
She's 13.
And I'm.
He's down on the deck.
Does he have?
No.
Does he have power to do that?
He does not.
Maybe you should tell her that then.
I will.
Take a switch.
What?
Take a switch.
Not gonna.
Do you mind if I watch this conversation? This should be good.
I do not. I'm gonna jump down off the house and head down the stairs to where Modemar and Emily are.
I call after.
grinning
Get
ear-
the contract. I need to wipe my butt.
I'm grinning ear to ear.
Are you up there, Lee?
I'm on the deck reading. I overheard it.
Joe,
But I'm not coming down.
I kind of okay. I guess they'll sign anything.
Oh, boy.
black and pointy, Joe. Black and pointy.
Joe, does the phrase delousing powder mean anything?
It does not.
It should.
I'll scratch.
Is something wrong with Modemar?
Nothing delousing powder couldn't fix.
May I see this contract?
No. You can ask Philip what it said.
You understand that
Oh, I
Modemar.
told him.
You understand.
I'm laughing as I said.
Modemar has no authority whatsoever to add or detract people from the crew of the ship.
Joe, the joke's on her. The joke's on her. I don't have any family to sell out.
He pokes his head down. Damn. Go back.
To Motobar, that's how you do a contract.
Oh, we just add ghosts. This game will be perfect. You understand that Modemar cannot make you part of the crew. The only person who has that authority is me.
Do you know Captain's Law is?
I do.
Do you understand that as the ship's captain, You make captain's law. That's why it's called captain's law.
I understand that. He does not have the authority. He is not the captain. I am.
Except you granted him full authority over me, which makes him your legal agent under captain's law.
Look, I'm not going to play this game with you. You are not a member of our
other nostril
crew.
starts bleeding. Like, what is, man, it's so dry here in October.
He has no authority. He is your bodyguard. Nothing more, nothing less. He has no authority to make you a member of this crew. Now, we have graciously...
I thought you were my friend.
I am.
Well, it must be something more.
She's got a point.
I'm not arguing with you about this. We're going to keep you safe. We're going to keep you. We're going to take you with us on the entirety of this journey. Eventually, we're going to go back to Herman, and eventually, you're going to go back to your grandfather. As much as you might not like that, your grandfather cares about you very much, and he's going to be extremely worried about you. But you're not a member of this crew.
Joe, I hand you the piece of paper that was in my mouth.
This has your spit on it.
And what's in my mind.
All of it.
It's not.
You have a 6 of spades in your mind?
Six of spades.
It encompasses the entirety.
All right,
of
I
his
smile.
mind.
Emily, what did you do to him?
We made a deal. If I could read his mind, he would sign a contract.
I'll tell you what. As the captain of this ship, this contract is null and void. It means nothing. However,
As the other signatory of the contract, I do not agree.
Sounds like you guys need an arbiter.
as a stowaway on this ship, we're
Was ex-stowaway.
gonna turn the ship around, and we're gonna take you home, unless you start being agreeable.
Fine, what do you want?
You will be a member of my crew. You will follow my orders. First, accepting that this contract is null and void. It means nothing because Modamar does not have the authority to make you a member of this crew. Only I do.
Okay, and now my terms.
No, you don't get terms.
Joe, you just told her she was a member of the crew.
Yeah. And you don't get terms either, Philip, or you, Lee, or you, Alejandro, or you, Casey, or anybody else on this goddamn boat unless I say so. Now,
Casey is slow. He's like, I haven't said 2 goddamn words since we left port.
you're going to stay on the ship. Motimer's going to keep you safe. You can observe, read Philip's books, listen to Lee's stories, enjoy your adventure, but eventually we're going to take you home. Yeah. Until that time, I expect for you to abide by my orders and my instructions. Okay? I don't want to take you home because you don't want to go home.
1 year.
No.
Yes. 1 year.
No. This is not a negotiation. No.
Well, if it's not a negotiation, then throw me overboard.
On it.
I'm not going to throw you overboard. That's ridiculous.
Well, is it fine? Be an asshole.
Comes with the title.
Asshole Joe.
She's 13. She's going to beat you in this one.
All right. Don't mess with his mind. Don't mess with his brain anymore. Don't read things in his brain anymore. Please.
Powerful psychic could be of use on your trip.
I don't.
She's got a
We're on a metaphysical journey here.
I don't know what that means. Yeah. Screw it. I just go storming up the stairs. So,
You know, when Grandpa dies, I inherit it.
Throw overboard right now.
I'm betting you have a little sway with him right now, while he's still alive too.
And Miss Pooh.
I hunt down Leah.
He's on deck,
What
in front. He's like sitting on some rope reading.
What exactly do you mean? What are you getting at?
When Grandpa dies, I inherit everything, including that ridiculous contract you signed. I can make it go away. All you have to do is keep a dangerous little girl on your ship for 1 year.
Lee's ears are bleeding now. Oh my god.
It's like that was a Saturday Night Live skit of the sprinkler game that sprays blood everywhere. It's like a Viking that sprinkled. Just like, yeah.
We're not going to have this conversation right now.
You need your lawyer.
I'm going to storm back upstairs.
All right. So I found Lee up there. That little girl is very clever.
I know. I've been listening. That's fucking hilarious.
It is.
Did you see what he did, Mortimer? Oh my god!
We get back to town. She's got pulled with her grandpa, and she's not wrong. She stands to inherit all of that.
Or we can sell her to an ist.
We're not going to sell her to. I kind of look. I give him a look for a minute to see if he's joking or not. Okay.
He looks at you dead seriously, and then he cracks his smile.
Okay. Don't get me wrong. I mean,
Yeah, I think the book I gave her is like way below her reading level.
I don't like using people. I generally, she's amusing as hell. I'm starting to like her. There's potential here for what we've got planned in the future.
I come storming over. That little girl is the devil.
Don't hate intelligence.
Devil you know versus the devil you don't.
I don't hate intelligence. In fact, I envy it. I recognize that you both possess something that I do not. And certainly so does that little girl. But that little girl just tried to manipulate me.
She didn't try. She did.
She...
Very expertly.
Yes.
How?
Well, you gonna throw her overboard?
Well, no, because I wouldn't throw her overboard anyway. Whether
You're a nice guy.
Right.
Others are not so nice. Mortimer!
Yeah.
Hey, your old boss, not Pops, the guy before Mortimer.
Crash.
Yeah.
Would they have thrown the girl overboard?
Parts of her.
There, so you go.
And then I look back at her and I go, oh, we won't do that.
What does he mean?
It's a hard life on the river. You taught me that.
She just told me that she read the contract that I signed with her grandfather.
Sure. She probably helped write it.
She's 12 years old. 13, maybe.
Yeah, like I said, the book I gave her was way below her reading level. I gotta find something a lot
Think
better.
about how many people will underestimate that.
But I will say, as far as making a deal with her on the chance that her grandfather dies, so she inherits it, so, she's gonna...
Yeah.
Right, unless she's the devil and she poisons him.
Well, no, it doesn't matter. Let's say it all works out in her favor. She's too smart. She's not going to give her the contract.
Right.
In fact, she'll probably be worse than her grandfather. Her grandfather, at least you can make a deal with him. She'll own you.
We got to turn this ship. We got to turn this boat around and get her back home.
I kind of look at it. It's like, I don't know. That girl is clever, that girl is smart, and that girl is manipulative. But I don't think she's her grandpa yet.
And for what it's worth, brother, we turn the ship around. You're talking about starting this journey with an uphill swim.
That little girl, I look at you.
If there's one thing I know, it's that. And that's how serious I am, is I'm willing to make that decision.
It was
I look at you.
we're a couple days out.
That little girl is going to run that town, whether you like it or not. The question,
No, she's not.
the question is, I give you 1 minute, and then you can make your counter. The question is, do you want her to be raised and, on her grandfather's values? Or do you want to show her what an honest man does for the next leg of our journey? I kind of look at you, and you know that you probably can tell that I'm feeding him a line of bullshit. But
Dan question, is her grandfather House Colors man? Or
You
at least
don't
her
know.
agent.
That's the problem. Is you're not sure. You were out of the town. Oh no. Well, there is a chance you would know.
Well, how about I roll for it?
Give me 2d6 plus. Yeah, give me 2d6 plus that. Because
4, 5, 6, 16.
16. Okay.
I'm not. I don't know what his actual what he does. How effectively is he their man?
Okay.
Is he in their pocket?
Here's what.
Who owns it?
Reading between the lines. House Caller had total authority over Herman.
Right.
That's changing.
Yep.
You don't know why. There's something going on at the high level of politics in the heart of St. Louis that's changing that. You don't know what it is or how it's playing out or why it's playing out.
The only thing I could think of is that it's so big. This play with Herman is a minor detail. It's one of many pawns that are getting moved, and we
Very
don't see.
well might be. But Holloway's moving in. Something that you picked up is while you were in town, you never saw the representatives from Holloway meet with Barnes. They were interested in the people in the town that produce, not the people in the town that simply have. It's just the way power works. If you want to take control of something, and there's someone there that represents the old way, the old guard,
Yep.
they have to go.
The next book
It's
I was going
actually
to give her was Machiavelli.
It's actually probably the other way around. If you were going to guess,
Yeah.
with the information you have available, there's a good chance it is the other way around. That he is House Colors man,
Yeah.
and if things keep going the way they're going,
He's either on the outs or just has no power. At which point, there's a lot of people who have a lot of debts that are going to be knocking on his door.
precisely now, if this girl's as smart as you think she is, start connecting the dots.
Right. I still don't think it's a good idea to make a deal with her.
oh no, don't make any deal with her. But don't take her back yet.
So I explain all that to you guys, and I don't care if she hears.
All right, I'm going to jump back up on the I jump back up on the roof of the house, and I say, the next person on my goddamn boat that tries to manipulate me is going overboard.
Imagine I say something cutting and clever.
Except Lee. Lee will be shot.
See? Because I'm smart. Drowning takes a while.
All right, I'm gonna grumble, gruff, grumble. If I can try to get this boat to Washington as soon as possible.
All right, so
if anything, she's managed to get my hackles up enough that I'm pushing the crew now.
All right. Broder, later that evening, it's getting close to dark. You know that Washington, just by the landmarks, you've been this way enough time, you know that Washington's getting close. It's going to be, they're having to hit the oars a bit to speed things up. But you know you're going to make Washington at least a little bit before nightfall.
Okay.
Now, whether you guys choose to go into town or not, or that's up to you. But you're up near the front of the boat, and you feel this very heavy weight on your shoulder. And Casey's standing behind you with one of his hands on you, and you can see, I mean, as you look at the hand, you can see the overgrowth of flesh as it's up and around the mounting points for the exoskeleton, and you're not sure what else is in there. And you're also glad he's wearing a coat at the moment, so you can't see what else is on him.
I gulp and Casey, I'm sorry. I shouldn't have included you earlier. You've been nothing but a kindness on this boat. I apologize for including you in my rant earlier.
That's not what I'm up here to talk to you about.
Oh, okay, good.
Here to talk to you about your dad.
I don't have a contract for you either. You know, there are two types of lives that people live. those that make them good and those that make them bad.
Mm-hmm.
You had the fortune of living a life that made you a good person. And the toughest thing I've watched you do in the short time we've known each other is struggle to learn what it means to be a bad person. I'm on a very different journey. I'm a bad person. I've done bad things. I was raised in an environment that fostered me, that trained me to be a really fucking bad person. And I'm having to learn not even what it means to be a good person, but just what it means to not be a bad person. Just how to even live in that gray middle where sky meets land. I can't tell you what to do with that girl. Quite frankly, I don't give a damn. And maybe that's part of my damage, but I don't give a damn. You said crush your head, I'd crush your head. You said take care of her the rest of my life? Well, I'd at least do it so long as I'm under your supervision. But what they said is true. You've got an opportunity here to shape her environment. Even if she is a bad person. Even if she's the worst of people. And maybe she is, maybe she's not, I don't know. I'm like you. Thinking my way out of things wasn't my gig. Why do you think I hooked on with Lee? I was smart enough to see a good opportunity, saw he was getting out, and well, there's another story there for another time, but what I do know is being around you guys, being in Herman, I see a little bit of that. I'm a hell of a lot older than she is. I'm a hell of a lot less impressionable than she is, and it's changed me a little bit. Just a little bit. Even if she is a really bad person. And I don't think she is. Maybe you can make her good. You know how to read the waters, right? So sea captain, river captain, you know how to read the waters, you know how to look at them, I bet you know how to read the sun too, don't you? You know what color sun means, what kind of weather's coming.
Sure. And the clouds and
the moon, the stars, right?
Sure.
All that bullshit.
Smell on the air, sure.
Do you know how to read the times?
No.
When you're on that river, I'm going to guess you stop at St. Louis a lot, but you don't stop in St. Louis a lot. I'm guessing you don't see what happens. Your problem with this Barnes guy, you know what you got a problem with? You got a problem with a man who has a certain amount of power and it's gone to his head. Now I'm going to take out this stack of silver coins. He puts 5 silver coins down. He says, let's say that's what he's got. And let's say that's what made him bad. That's his damage. As he's found out what 5 silver coins can do to somebody who has none. What do you think happens when a group of people don't get 5, they get 500, 5,000? Well, they start thinking a lot bigger, and they start doing things a lot worse. There's nothing happening in your hometown that's an accident. Things are changing. Big things are changing. And your family, that mom that gave you that stupid, and if you'll excuse me saying so, rather effeminate shawl, she's going to be caught in the middle of it.
Yeah.
And that little girl is the closest thing you've got to any kind of power.
Okay.
If something bad goes down there.
All right. Well, I guess in life, we don't get what we want, do we? You know why I bought this boat?
No.
so I wouldn't have to make decisions like this.
Right about that point when you say that, you hear coming from the back of the boat the just the sound of a reed lute playing. And you recognize the sound.
Is this who bought the expensive water?
That was the first song I learned from him. But yeah, it is Lillian's flute. And
Okay. You know,
it probably starts with that to get warmed up and then goes to something longer, but
might be the smartest man on this boat, Casey. At least the wisest. Lee, I need your assistance.
What? I've got a great hand. Lee is down there with the little girl and Modemar and two of the deckhands. And Lee and the little girl, we're all playing poker, and we're trying to take them for everything they own.
And Modemar is almost completely naked at this point.
and it's not even strip poker.
It's not even strip poker.
It's business.
When you're done, I need you to write up a contract. But finish your game first.
Gentlemen, ladies, business calls. I fold. And he hands a little of Motiver's money back. Hold on to the rest for you, okay?
Uh-huh. Yep.
I took a lot of Motiver's money. I'm just going to hold it for him.
And Casey's one hell of a guy.
He's got a great singing voice.
He's got perspective.
He's seen some things.
I actually remember that conversation as I'm playing, and I kind of call it, "Hey, Casey."
He lumbers his way back.
So what do you like to sing?
Usually just make up my own songs. They never taught me anything. Really.
I'm going to be playing for a little bit if you want. I'm curious to hear your voice.
I tell you what, we're about to put down for the night in Washington. I got some thinking to do anyway. Tomorrow morning, I'll have a song for you.
You're going to nod him. All right.
So, a contract. He takes out a stamp.
What's that for?
I'm a notary.
What does that mean?
It means I have a seal, and it has my name on it. And that,
Like you bore witness.
yeah. And that, if you just sign a contract, well, look at the contract that you signed, the bad one. It had a stamp on it. It was that guy. What's his name? I don't even know who that asshole was.
What was his name?
You're talking about the prior notary?
Out of character.
Jasper.
Jasper.
Who the-
Thank you.
That asshole Jasper. Now,
This is why I keep a running spreadsheet of
Yeah,
NPCs.
Jasper. Right.
so, Jasper did not have to tell you what was in the contract.
Right. No, he just had to witness that the contract was signed.
But I would tell you, and not just because you're you, I'd tell anybody what's in the contract. And so my seal holds a little bit more weight than Jasper with different kinds of people.
Because of your reputation.
Yes.
Now that makes sense to me.
Mhm.
So, I want a contract
Okay.
for 1 year's time,
Mm-hmm.
starting tomorrow.
Okay.
1 year from tomorrow, with the expiration or the end date of the contract.
Mm-hmm.
I would like Amelie to be an official member of our crew for 1 year, which gives her all the rights and responsibilities of a standard crew member.
Dan, in
the
this
boat.
world, in this area, are you considered an adult at 13? There's no laws, but is society considered?
No, society hasn't quite evolved that much. She would come to age in sort of unspoken rules soon, like 15, 16. Given her authority, at least within Herman, you're
And
not
she
sure.
has no parents, but she has guardians.
Correct. You're not sure
So-
anyone would contradict her.
Lee kind of gives it some thought for a minute. He goes, yeah, I think we could do that. But why?
Because of what Philip said, and because of what Casey said, bolstering Philip, reinforcing him.
I'm going to warn you about something, all right? And don't take this as me telling you no. Think of it as, I want you to know the full picture, all right? Just so you don't go into anything blind. And he motions to Alejandro over there who's working, doing something. When we go to shore, Alejandro goes to shore, and not that he would ever do this, but he drinks down a gallon of gin and goes into a brothel and beats up a hooker. Who's responsible?
I am.
See what I'm getting at?
I do.
Okay. Just wanted you to know.
And when Alejandro goes into town, and he's a decent man who minds his P's and Q's, he pays his debts, and we leave that town with a good reputation, I'm a little bit responsible too.
You are. But it is Alejandro we're talking about, so.
And that, I think that was Philip's point and Casey's point, was that we have an opportunity to
Be foster parents?
to influence this young lady and to show her that there are decent, honest, good people in the world. And I want to do that.
Do you know who P.T. Barnum is?
No.
Good. I'll write your contract.
Out of character, that was very well played. All right. So I'm not going to present her with the contract until the next day. I want to make sure we're safe in Washington. We get docked. The Carver clan's not ass raping people into submission on the shores of the river.
Okay, so are you guys staying on the ship, trying to go into town? Is there anything you're trying? Is there anything you're trying?
Am I writing a letter to send back?
Yes, both.
Okay.
Both, please.
Sure.
Okay, Chad, you write your letter.
Yeah.
Well, what generally does it say?
I figure that, I actually write a couple of different versions, and then I decide the one that has the most amount of truth on it.
Oh. No.
What?
So
I decide the one that has the most amount of truth on it, because, I can, word this and be diplomatic, and I can spin it and stuff, but we have no idea what the situation is, so I don't want to get caught in a lie. So I'm just going to straight up tell exactly what happened, and I'll put in a short paragraph in there about how I don't mention that she's trying to get away from the city because of the danger. That's going to be understood by everyone anyway. But I put in there that there are certain situations going on, and that it would actually take us longer to come back, and she is being a big help, and we're kind of training her to do administrative type stuff and help with the books and teach her the sea life and keeping her safe. And this is what she wanted. And then I put in there I talked to you first, where we think we'll be next, kind of how long we think it'll take the letter to get back to Herman, and that if they want her back or want to make some sort of arrangement, they can send a letter back to where we're going to meet or where we're going to be in X number of days. I mean, it's not going to be an exact science. I get it, but at least we can say something.
all right, so for Washington, as long as Joe doesn't tell everyone they have to stay on boat, I'd go down to the tavern.
Okay.
And mostly just every time I'm in a town, I want to hear the lay of the land. I want to listen to the gossip. I want to, update any notes, and I want to see, is something happening is there an opportunity, or is there something happening that we didn't know about?
Okay. Chad, you write your letter.
Right.
And you write this on the boat or in town. Where do you write? I'm obviously to find a caravan to send it off on.
I write it in town.
Okay, so
Yeah. And then I'm drawing up the contract, too.
all right. So you're in
We'll go
the
over that bullet points.
all right. So you're in the same sort of shoreline pub that he is.
And I've got mail, too. I've got a packet.
Right.
So I probably have... I meet with the leader of the town, the mayor or whatever.
So you make a mail run to you do the mail run to
I say, okay, I've got a packet, and then I'll be in town from this time to this time in the inn. And then anyone who thinks that they have mail, I give them a list of people. Anyone who wants to send stuff, I will basically be holding court. Anybody who has any actual business disputes, I do my whole thing.
Okay, well,
from this inn.
while you're sitting there,
I let people buy me beer and food.
they probably do. Others are more desperate, but
There's nothing wrong with a little bit of honest graft.
As you're sitting there, there's a guy that looks fairly well dressed, in the sense that at least he's clean,
He's not covered with shit.
pretty much. Yeah, he's clean and groomed,
I do have Casey with me.
and okay, you have Casey with you.
Yeah, like not looming, but
right.
yeah. Although he looms.
Younger guy, maybe mid-20s, definitely not an older gentleman, clean-shaven, very clean-shaven, probably had a straight razor shave, possibly in this town. And he watches you for a bit, and then in one of the breaks in the crowds, he comes over and he takes the chair and pulls it back and sits down across from you. It says, I don't think we've had the pleasure.
I reach over, I shake his hand, but when I do, I breathe in. I here, shake my hand. I do. Like that. I want to see if he is fragranced himself. Cologne, aftershave.
No, but he actually soap. I was going to say he actually does have a clean smell to him. He doesn't smell filthy.
This is a person of wealth who is not a laborer. So
Yes, and he's wearing a wide-brimmed hat, which he takes off and hangs off the side of the chair. This is, I don't think we've had the pleasure. I'm James.
James, my name is Lee.
Well, it's good to meet you.
Nice to meet you, James.
Can
Can I offer you a drink?
Oh no, I appreciate it, but time is a bit of the essence. I actually came to offer you something.
Oh. Well, I'll be glad to hear whatever you have to say.
Well, I am guessing, based on the things I overheard, that you just came from Herman,
Yes.
or somewhere thereabouts.
From Herman.
Okay. And I was wondering if you had any mail from Washington to take back that direction.
Do I?
So you have your own letter, if nothing else.
Yeah. Yes, I do.
I would be willing to trade you the coin, not from you, but just upon delivery of that lot of mail, in return for a lead on where you might be able to offload your cargo.
What's my cargo?
It's going to be high alcohol wine, very loose quotes. You came from Herman. They don't make much else there.
We make amazing rhubarb pie.
If you've got a hold full of rhubarb pie, well, maybe in fall it wouldn't be stinking to high hell, but any other time of year it would be. If you've got a hold of rhubarb pie, you wouldn't be in here. Be out there eating it. I would be. But Temper's Militia, they do some freelance work. They're on the right side.
Of course.
They work for and with a lot of the houses. Keep areas safe when they can't get the regular army down there. Walk with caravans. I've actually walked with them a few times. And part of how Temper pays his men is, well,
In alcohol.
allotment of alcohol. Well, here's the problem. The lower proof but higher volume stuff they're selling east of here, it's a lot harder to transport.
Mm-hmm. They have to transport more of it to get the same effect.
Precisely. Now, it's easy anywhere along the way to cut it with water and make it grog, but it's a lot harder to go the other direction, to get the water out of it to transport it. Now, I can't tell you exactly where he is, but I can tell you if you head south from here, if you are willing to catch the Mississippi and head south a decent ways, that you will run into Temper. He tends to follow the river trade routes, land. He's not a boatsman, he follows on land. But if you can catch him, particularly anywhere that the old Interstate 55 comes close to the river, he'd take it off your hand for a damn good price. If you're interested, I could even perhaps make some inquiries, send some letters with you to make the inquiries, to work out a place where you can meet him somewhere of mutual benefit downstream.
What's your cut in this?
My cut in this is that...
Because it isn't the handful of pennies you're going to get to deliver for my letter.
No, it's actually that I owe Temper a favor.
And you're going to pay that favor off with a hold of booze.
Sold legitimately, but it's the opportunity to buy. Temper got me out of some trouble. Trouble I'd rather not talk about, but he got me out of some trouble. Check, give me a perception check. Do you have anything for, like, noticing things? Oh, actually, so, yeah, make a perception. Do you have anything for, like, noticing things about people?
I have a social of 10.
All right, 2d6 plus the social, so 2d6 plus 10.
5, 6, 17.
17, okay. You notice that he is, during the time that you've been talking to him, you've noticed that he's been playing with a necklace that is underneath his shirt, and you catch a glimpse of it and recognize it as he's actually counting a rosary.
Well, you understand this is dangerous times, and we've never met. And I wish no insult or disparagement. Do you have some references that I could follow up on?
About me personally?
Yes.
Oh, sure, one of your traveling companions. Just tell him Mr. Walden says hello.
Okay. So, just so I'm clear on this deal, you will tell me the location of where these militia would have,
I'll give you letters of introduction.
and where they would potentially be. And
Right.
It's an opportunity for us. In return, you are going to deliver my letter to Herman, and then keep the money. Fine. And then I can also give you recommendations and a letter of introduction to get the best rhubarb pie you will ever have in your life.
Sounds like a deal to me.
Let me check some references. Again, no insult intended. It is merely due diligence. on my
I
part.
understand this line of work. Can I catch you tomorrow morning?
Absolutely.
Good night to you, sir.
Good night.
He takes his hat and walks back towards one of the rooms.
Damn papists. You can't trust them.
This isn't Europa Universalis.
It's not? Damn it, I read the wrong group template. Okay. I continue to hold court. Dan, is there any disputes of interest? Or is it all like, so-and-so sold me a bad cow?
Around here, it's mostly that.
Okay.
There's nothing of interest going on here at the moment.
I do my best. Lee has, when he's on the ship, he's under everybody's foot because that ain't his thing. But when he does his work, he is extremely professional about it. It doesn't matter if it's a dispute between two 5-year-olds and who owns a ball, or two countries about ready to go to war over a border dispute. He puts the same degree of intensity into it.
Anyone else have anything for town?
Frankly, Joe, I'm just enjoying the silence. I mean, I really, there's no bullshit. There's no bickering. There's no manipulation. There's no people pulling me in 5 different directions for things that I was trying to escape in the first place.
So I go up to Joe and I'm like, hey, I got some bullshit for you.
I just want to sit and listen to the river and enjoy the silence.
When Lee comes walking back, Mortimer's got his hair all braided and looking nice.
Looking good.
Bring on the rhubarb pie.
Right.
This place have some.
How big is Washington? Oh, okay, wait a minute. Let's stop being around the bush. Is there a brothel?
Probably so. Or if not, there's going to be at least a few women of the night hanging around here.
I give Modemar some of his money, and then I give him directions to the ladies of the night.
Yep. And then when I get there, I walk in the door and I say,
But I give him just enough money.
I say, I hand the madam the money and I say,
Dead puppies.
the Longshore Lindy said I'd be dripping with rhubarb pie.
And then the woman gives you a very fuddled look and says, whatever you want to call it, honey.
Now there's a T-shirt. Longshore Lindy's rhubarb pie with there's the dick hole in it. That's a T-shirt waiting to happen.
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
He's a
Chad.
Renaissance man.
Hey, he's a Renaissance man.
Like, he has syphilis and everything.
So when I return to the boat, I'll find you. I'm like, so how'd it go?
With Modemar? Oh, I think he's having a hell of a time. I mean, that's going to be, like, the best 2 minutes of his life.
No, in town. You hear anything interesting?
I tell Philip about the odd encounter at the inn.
You give the name.
Do I? What's his name?
James Weldon.
James Weldon, yes. Yes, I do.
Weldon's in town?
Yes! And boy, is he. He's quite the dandy. So tell me about this Weldon. What's he like?
He's a shrewd businessman. Shrewd merchant.
Con artist?
No more so than me.
Fair. How's his moral character?
No more so than me.
Fair.
Bastard's always got a good deal going.
That's the worst thing about him, is that he can outbid you.
Not always. I come off the top sometimes.
I heard about the water. Fair. Okay. Well, I think I'll advise the captain that maybe we could make this deal. Well, actually, I overstepped myself. Here's the deal that was offered. I vetted him the best I could with you. I have he says he owes a favor. It's a little weird, but no real red flags are going off. I defer to your judgment on how much money we can make from this.
Yeah. Out of character, Dan, this sounds pretty up and up. In character,
It's up and up. You're familiar with Temper's Militia. They really are reasonable individuals. They are honest businessmen that do an ugly but necessary function. It's basically shooting up bandits and Carver Clan and things like that. It's, like I said, it's a dirty but necessary business. But they are on the up and up. They are honest people. He's not the sort of person that's just going to waylay you and rob you and whatever. Merchants do business with him all the time. And because of the fact that he likes to keep making money and he makes money from people that travel. He doesn't like to stop any longer, and he absolutely has to. So resupplying mid-road is a preferred tactic of his.
What do they make here in Washington? Like, what's their thing?
Agriculture, food.
So I give you basically the rundown of what I know about, what I've heard about him. And when I was like, so, you know how we were talking about making a lot more of the rot gut down the line? And we were wanting contracts?
Mm-hmm.
Maybe we can spin this into more than a one-time sale.
I like the way you're thinking. Also, if he's running around here, think of it this way. What does Herman make? Agriculture. Generally, agriculture.
Yeah.
What does Washington make? Agriculture. What is it? He starts naming towns. Like, okay, that's mining, that's agriculture, mining, agriculture, cows, whores, agriculture, timber.
They make horse.
They make them.
Die-cut horse.
Right. I mean, up north, all they have is die-cut goats.
All they do is produce daddy issues.
Yeah. It's still Washington, but it's Washington on the Illinois side.
That's right. Well, what I'm getting at here is you've got a group of individuals who can be cheaply fed and boozed. So what's the expensive thing that they need? Guns. Who makes guns?
St. Louis.
St. Louis. Where are we going?
St. Louis. I like the way you're thinking.
I can draw up contracts. You negotiate the deals. Run it by the captain. See how he feels about running guns legally.
Yeah. And we're running to good people.
That's right.
Well, we're running to up and up people.
People who are shooting the people who would shoot us.
Yes.
So, again, I run it by the captain, see how he feels about it. He's touchy about that sort of thing. So, it's an opportunity. I pull my pants back up and...
We're not talking business.
done with
Let's
it.
back up. All right. So I'll find Joe.
Yeah, I'm sitting on. I mean, just sitting, cross-legged, or maybe actually hanging my legs over the side of the, sitting on the roof, hanging my legs over the side, just watching the river.
Joe, got a moment to talk business?
Sure, Philip.
Zip.
Yeah, I'll hop down, kind of stretch my legs.
Lee ran into an old buddy of mine in town.
Lee ran into him?
Yep. And he put us on to some potential for selling our wine here.
Selling our wine here in Washington?
No, not in Washington. There's a militia that does a lot of work for... Basically, they mostly walk with caravans and work with a lot of merchants.
Okay.
And he needs to keep his people in the cheap wine and can't get it over there. Willing to pay a good amount of money for it.
Well, where are they at?
I give the general area that they were talking.
It's pretty far away, correct?
Yeah.
It's a good distance, Philip.
It is. But
Certainly, it's a lot farther than Defiance.
It is. We'll get a better price than Defiance. And I was talking to Lee, and he has another idea. Thinks that they might need weapons. And we can pick those up in St. Louis.
If you sell to Defiance, you're basically going to be given liquor to bums.
Right.
So they will buy it, but they're not going to buy it on a huge margin,
Right.
the way that you probably could get from Temper's Militia.
Okay.
So it's
Yeah, like if we can arrange the deal, we're doing a supply drop in the middle of the wilderness. So,
Right.
yeah, there's what we're selling it for, and then the associated fees.
And-
and Temper's being
And we're making a relationship. Future sales. We don't want to sell future stuff to Defiance. They're going to be our competitors.
No, but that's what you and Philip were talking about the other day, right? To basically have contracts for future purchases,
Yeah.
right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And we're going to make more money than selling to Defiance.
Definitely.
And these aren't ists we're talking about.
Not at all.
Well, not anymore.
This militia is on the up and up. They work for St. Louis. They work for the merchants. They protect people.
All right. Well,
I'm not going to say they're all good men, but these are not the bad guys. These are, from everything I know, these are honest men.
when you mentioned guns, are you suggesting that we get guns on our way through St. Louis?
Lee suggested that.
What are we going to trade to get those guns?
That's a good question. Haven't worked everything out. Just bringing you what we've got for right now.
Well,
Get your thoughts.
so we're going to have to pass over the chain, which will be complicated.
Mm-hmm.
But you know, I watched Pop do it plenty of times. I'm confident I can do it. We're going to pass by St. Louis to find this militia you're speaking of. So, you know, if we leave St. Louis empty-handed, we leave St. Louis empty-handed.
Won't leave empty-handed. Worst case, we'll leave with some information.
Right. Right. So we've got to go that direction anyway. And maybe Lee can work whatever magic it is that you do. But hell, maybe our newest crew member, maybe she can, you know, work whatever witchcraft she did to, you know, to Modamar. But if it's an opportunity to make more money,
It is.
my only concern is the logistics of our stores getting there and getting back. You know, do we have enough in the hold? Do we have enough fresh water and enough food to get us there and back in a reasonable amount of time?
We were stocked up with the expectation that we were at least going to St. Louis to figure out where we were going.
Okay. And then just Dan, so for the listener and for myself, looking at our group sheet here.
You were quite well
Yeah.
stocked.
Okay. That's what I was asking, is that just mechanically on our worksheet,
Yes.
we've got enough goods to do that?
Yeah. Oh, yes.
Well supplied. We've got a good cargo. I don't know what that was. Some whispered CG. Oh,
You have two whispered CG horses.
That's right.
Yeah. All right. Well,
This is the big move I think we need to start.
and this is the time for me to trust your judgment. So if you think that's the right call, then that's what we'll do.
Yep, I do.
All right. Well, then I guess that I should probably get some rest, since I'm going to have a whole lot of captaining to do in the next few weeks.
And I'll have a whole lot of staying out of your way to do.
Thanks, Philip.
I go to the brothel I sent Motimer,
Okay.
and I'm waiting downstairs for him. Can we say this is like a inn sort of thing?
Sure.
Okay.
And waiting.
And
Waiting.
I mean, like, what, 3 minutes?
Are you kidding? The mantra of dead puppies is just dead puppies are playing baseball.
All right, I come stumbling out.
Motimer!
A lot of business.
I bet. A lot of hard business. Mm-hmm. Have a drink?
Yeah.
I motion over and... Hungry?
Yeah. Yeah, I'm real hungry.
I have him bring us some food. And...
Lee,
Yes.
we should sell what's up there.
Put it in a box, package it, ship it to people.
What's in the box, the stuff we were smoking, just all that stuff. We should sell that.
Amazing. You've got...
They've got places like this everywhere?
Yes. You know, they say it's the oldest profession. They work hard, too.
Yeah. Yeah. I didn't hardly do anything.
I know, right? It's amazing. And then all you have to do is just walk out the door.
All right, I shrug and say, I'm out of money.
Oh, don't worry, I got this.
Okay. With his money. It might be a good idea that everywhere we go, you handle the money, because if I had the money, I'd probably just stay here.
I figured as much. I even have a separate pouch for it. It's your money. It's not mine.
I was good, though. I asked for the cheapest ones.
Oh, excellent. That's great. That's very great.
They were real happy, too.
Oh, I bet they were. Yeah.
They said they normally work during the day.
Yeah. Hey, to change the subject slightly, the ship.
Yeah.
It's called Lily's Vine.
Uh-huh.
Why is it called that?
Because of Miss Lily.
Yeah, who's Miss Lily?
She used to. She was. I called her Mama Lil. She was a real nice lady.
Oh, yeah, what'd she do on the ship?
She kind of bossed people around.
Well, you need that on a ship.
Yeah, Pops wouldn't. He would boss people around, but he'd mostly just kind of stare off into the water.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, she would boss people around. So, and Joe liked her a lot. Called her ma'am all the time.
Wow.
And yeah, so she was real nice. She would she called me Mowgli. That's why I don't know what that means, but it was nice. That was her nickname for me.
Oh, cool. Yeah. Where's she at now?
Dead.
Oh, I'm sorry to hear that. How'd she die?
She got stabbed.
Oh my God.
Yep, right up underneath the rib cage.
Ooh.
Yeah, it was bad.
Yeah. Where did that happen at?
All right, I
Yeah, you tell that.
the exact location.
Okay. Wow.
Right off that bend,
Where
just outside of St. Louis.
And then they took her off and.
Well, the boat was on fire,
Yeah.
and Pops kicked us all off.
Sure.
Uh-huh.
So, where'd they bury her? I mean, you're not going to walk all the way back.
No,
to
we
St. Louis.
buried her. Yeah,
Where at?
about 2 miles out, just off the bank, right there.
Okay. And then you got back on the road.
Yep.
Right, that old Telegraph Road then.
Yeah.
And walked back to St. Louis. Okay. Well, hey, you enjoy yourself, and he gives you a little bit more money. It's like, just be sure to get back to the boat in time for morning.
All right.
And then
Yep.
he walks off.
All right. I hold up 2 fingers.
Best behavior.
Were you out here? when he
Just
said-
2 dripping fingers.
Oh.
Were you out here when he said he asked for the cheapest?
No, I was in the lavatory.
Can I borrow this?
Yeah, absolutely, man.
Okay.
Because I'm borrowing your dice and.
Yeah, whatever.
Following morning, Chad, do you accept
I
the...
have a pencil. They were hiding.
You have 2.
So do
I
you...
hold up two pencils.
you have 2 copies.
Yeah.
Do you accept the deal?
I said I'm gonna go with you when you do.
Okay. No, I do not accept the deal because that's not my job.
Okay.
That is Philip's job is going to negotiate. I make sure it's legal and it works out best for us.
All right. So, Wayne, you find James, and he's hat hung off the chair. Got 2 of his workers with him. Seems to be having breakfast. There are open chairs at the table.
I grab a drink, and then I go and I sit down. I actually grab 2. It's let's say we always have whiskey.
Okay.
I sit down. I slide one over to him.
He takes it and sniffs it and then shoots it and puts it upside down, slides it toward the middle of the table and says, "We're early for that, Philip, isn't it?"
Never too early when I run it into you. How's business, James?
Can't complain.
So, Lee told me about the deal.
Yeah? Said he wanted or not.
Sounds good.
So, you want it or not?
What didn't you tell him? Come on, man. You're holding something out of it.
Look, the deal's straight. You're right, there is something I'm holding out of it. But the something's not related to the deal. The something's why I feel compelled not to help you out. So I feel compelled to help Mr. Temper out.
Got yourself into trouble, didn't you?
Not exactly.
Somebody got into trouble.
Look, Philip, we can get back to chasing each other's tails at some point in the future, and I'd be more than happy to do it. But on this particular meeting, it's not what it's about.
Fair enough.
Look,
Deal's good. We both know I'm going to take it.
it's a good deal. If you want the straight cut,
I do. He did you a solid. He sounds probably a good guy. I'm just kind of curious.
sure. And even on my worst days, I might want to see you fail. But I don't want to see you dead. I'm not sending you into that kind of a trap. I'm not sending you into something that's going to screw you over. It just so happens you have something that helps me repay a debt. And in this particular case, it's not... Look, I'm not setting you up for bad fortune. It just so happens that your good fortune also becomes my good fortune.
That's the best kind of deal.
Well, smart business.
Getting you killed, if that's what you're worried about. That's not the line of work I'm in. It doesn't do me any good. And I don't think either of us are that far gone yet.
No, I'm certainly not.
Not yet.
No, I'm not worried about you trying to get me killed. I just had a feeling there was something you were holding out. Some loophole. But if what you're holding out is personal,
It's not a loophole.
if all you're holding out is personal and the deal's on the up and up,
That's all I
that's
need to
good enough
know.
for me.
Temper got me out of some trouble. I told him I'd take care of him. I know what he needs, because I know knowing what he needs is good business.
Of course it is.
Knowing your customers is good business, and I do a lot of business down that way. And I know what Mr. Temper needs, and I know what he's running low on, and I know that with the changes coming to Herman, it's going to get harder and harder for him to supply what it is he needs. And so if he's going to fulfill the remainder of his contracts, then he's going to need this. And so if I can help him get a stockpile of a diminishing good, then I consider my debt to him repaid. And if you profit from it, it may chap my ass when I'm sitting there alone at night, but
With my money and whores.
it's not worth burning a business relationship over. And murder's not my game.
All right.
If you're satisfied with that, then
I am. Best kind of deals. Good for everyone.
I agree. Next round's on me. To a good deal.
Good deal.
Are you?
From the bar, Lee holds up a cup of chicory and says, "A good deal."
Next morning, you guys shove off from Washington and begin you continue your trip down the Missouri River toward Defiance. And you haven't been offshore for more than a few minutes before Casey climbs atop the house, looking a bit sheepish, and clears his throat.
I get the, I have the flute out, ready to go. I'll play for him.
Says, then stands there for a moment, and then Alejandro comes over and hands him a bottle, which he takes a pull off of and passes it back. And
I go over to Joe. He's either going to sing or kill someone. Either way, pay attention. It's going to be wonderful.
I start a background melody for him.
All right, if you're going to make me do this, then it's going to be sung shanty style. Come on, gentlemen. We'll have a captain, man of lore.
Man of war.
Come on, sing the whole damn thing. We'll have a captain, man of lore. 2 feet taller, 2 miles from shore.
2 feet taller, 2 miles from shore.
Over 1,000 more will roam.
Over 1,000 more will roam.
Free-flowing rivers ever home.
Free-flowing rivers ever home.
You messed me up.
Hey, come on. And forget not Pop's long-lost father.
Forget not Pop's long-lost father.
And don't you pay a dime for that damned water.
Don't you pay a dime for that damned water.
Excellent.
All right, for the next 5 minutes, I'm not going to notice anyone take a drink.
That was great. Wayne is redder. I like it. And not the first game I've played where Dan has sung in character.
The whole gnarl.
Yeah.
Knoll troll love song.
Yes.
Yeah.
About the bridge knoll.
Wow. There's slash fic in my future.
All right, so you guys make it in Defiance a bit earlier because you're past the halfway mark by this point. So you guys make it into Defiance a bit earlier in the day than you made it into Washington. So there's still a little bit of sunlight left. The sun is setting and the sky starting to turn gray and orange. And the temperature from the afternoon warmth, if you can call it that, is beginning to drop off ever so slowly. And you know as soon as the sun goes behind those trees, it's going to get pretty cold pretty fast. Yes.
Once we're in Defiance, basically through the course of the day, I would like to sit down with Lee and hammer out the finer points of the contract. So when we get to Defiance, we can present the contract to Emily.
Okay. What exactly is the contract going to say?
Well, basically that she will, for 1 year from today's date, 365 days, she will officially be a member of the crew of Miss Lily's Vine, and she will be subject to the authority of that ship's captain, which is me, right? And that she will obey orders of myself.
Lee stops you right there and says, who's your first mate? Because if you fall overboard wearing that ridiculous shawl, it'll take you right to the bottom, and then her contract's
that
open.
will be Alejandro.
Okay. We need to write that down. Now, Alejandro tries to save you, pulls out the ridiculous shawl, wears it in your honor, and then the next day he falls overboard and that damn thing drags him to the bottom. Who's in charge?
Philip.
And then the Shaw of Death kills Philip. Who's in charge?
Wouldn't happen. I'm not wearing the shawl.
Casey.
Casey? Is Casey?
Casey.
Does Casey know this?
Well, hopefully it won't come to that.
I mean, this Shaw is pretty deadly.
But I trust his judgment.
Okay. And then Lee goes on. It's like, okay, we need to... It gets to a point where it's just
Right.
flat. It's like there's
Right.
nobody left. Okay. All right, continue.
She's going to obey orders.
Mm-hmm.
She will
Within reason.
within reason.
Mm-hmm. Now we're going to define what reason is.
That was my next question, because saying, telling her to do something that was in the normal commands and normal duties of a member of this crew, I don't want her sassing me and back talking and trying to, well, the contract says, well, I'm not going to put up with that crap. I'll throw her overboard.
Murder it is then.
No, not
Murder.
I was just saying I'm not really going to throw her overboard. That's ridiculous.
It is outside of reason.
Right.
Okay.
For this boat.
For this boat.
This boat.
Basically,
I catch that other boat.
I want her to abide by commands. I want her to abide by rules, and I want her to understand that I'm not going to tolerate her sass.
Does the boat have rules?
Well, yeah, the boat has rules. For example, you don't drink on duty. That's a rule.
Are these rules posted?
Well, no, they're just we just know the rules.
Yeah.
And if you forget a rule, I'll be sure to remind you.
Right. Well, what I'm saying is that do these rules just kind of happen when you think them up? Do they apply to the captain?
It depends on the rule.
Okay.
Some rules apply to the...
Lee just starts
You're making this
laughing.
complicated, Lee.
I know I am. Okay, yeah, within reason.
Certain behaviors are acceptable and certain behaviors are not.
Yeah.
You don't defy orders.
Mm-hmm. No mutiny.
No mutiny. I hope that we don't have to write that down.
Make sure you write that down.
Oh, it's getting written down. No mutiny.
Just
No murder, no raping, no looting, no pillaging.
right. Absolutely none of those things.
River pirates.
That's right. We're not river pirates. Look, I just want her to understand that she's a member of this crew, and I'm going to treat her like any other member of the crew with the same liberties and respect and the same demands of responsibility and obedience like I would any other member of this crew. And I understand that she's smart, and I just don't have the damn patience to deal with another smart person who's going to be pointing me this way and that.
It's your shit. You can point whatever way you want.
See, it doesn't feel that way. You say that, but it doesn't feel that way, and I don't need her to be another person that makes it not feel that way.
You know what you should do? Next time Philip or I give you some advice,
I'm going to backhand the shit out of you.
you should totally go against it.
I trust you. I trust your advice.
Hey, Phil! He trusts us!
Can you swim?
Not in this. Can you?
Oh, yeah.
That's good.
I can swim as well as you can read.
Good, because it's October. And that water's cold!
I say, I actually yell back at you. When it comes to this boat, I trust him. I sure the hell can't pilot this thing.
Look,
I'm just giving you shit. Really, the contract is like 4 lines, and it just defines her cut, and that she's indentured for a year.
what does indentured mean?
It means that she can't leave the boat, like the crew. She can't leave the crew.
Okay.
She works for you for a year.
Okay. All right.
Nope.
All right. Thank you, Lee.
It's pretty standard.
I feel like you made this unnecessarily complicated because irritating me amuses you.
You're a very perceptive person.
I moved to push him in the water. I'm not actually going to push him in the water, but I want him to feel like I'm going to push him into the water.
As you're pushing on his chest, Casey does come down and around and grabs you, Joe, by the arm and turns you to face upriver. You can see the Defiance. You can see Defiance up ahead, the spot where the boats would moor, and not in the actual moorings, but out a bit from it toward deeper water, is a actual river patrol craft, like a diesel-powered, relatively sizable for a river patrol craft.
They have a flag.
All right.
They do have a flag. The flag is following the colors and emblems of House Caller.
All right, I'm going to grab my rifle scope because it is always at the ready while we are on the water, and I'm going to take a look at their vessel.
Okay, from looking at their vessel, you can see though it is covered up front. There is definitely some kind of a turret on it. Not heavy turret. I don't mean like something like an 18-incher. You know, I don't mean.
No,
something...
you mean like a stone castle with a ballista.
Yes.
No, so basically, they have steel plating and some sort of armament that is protecting whoever is manning the gun.
Correct. So, well, yes, or it might even just be like a 50 caliber machine gun on a swivel.
Do you know what a 50 cal would do to this boat?
I meant compared to like, once again, something like a 4 or 6 inch, shell. Mm-hmm. So I'm saying that this is
not a battleship.
Yes,
but it is not anything that we could possibly take.
Nothing that we're going to try to take. My concern is that have I, as the ship's captain, encountered patrols like these before, and am I familiar with the protocols?
You have possibly seen them at a distance. The boat does not appear to have any interest in interacting with you.
Okay.
It is actually anchored where it's at.
Okay.
And they're using tender craft back and forth. So they're using smaller, like...
They're swiping right to left.
Yes, tender. Yeah. Wait until they start using the grinder craft.
Oh, yeah. That's a little downriver.
They're using tender craft. It's like smaller boats.
Lee runs down below deck. He's down there for like a minute or two, and then he comes.
Okay, so using a ship like this, Lee, you would know they're only going to deploy a ship like this under one of two circumstances. One is either they're hunting something, which is not real likely given the fact that they don't seem to have the ship on any...
Right. They're not doing anything.
They're not doing anything. The other is if it's transporting somebody of importance, and they want to guarantee that a river pirate is going to take one look at this and be like, no. Right. There's not. It's not worth doing.
Sends a message.
Yeah, exactly. It's about sending a message. And as you look around the top of the craft, or top of this boat, you do see uniformed, jumpsuit-clad, crew on this ship, and there are also armored and uniformed military on this ship. And up in the command room, control room, you do see one individual wearing the full long robes, the hood, and the personally carved unique mask of a masked one, which is what he used to be.
So, but I mean, have I ever seen a masked person before?
Yeah, you've seen me.
No,
I've shown you the mask, and
outside of him, the most
I'm pretty open about it.
The most you might have seen one's at a distance. The houses are generally pretty protective of these individuals. So the closest you've ever seen one before would be at this kind of distance.
Now, you see his robes are... Because I've shown you the whole...
Right.
I probably even in private have put it on, and we talk about stuff and joke. His robes are identical to mine, right?
Yes.
And the mask, though, is totally different.
Yes.
Because they're unique.
Correct. The masks are made unique by the individual. They're to shape and reflect. Like, this becomes their new person. And so, as a result, they're allowed to have a hand in deciding who that new person is.
All right, well, I'm going to hang the scope, basically, hang my vision on this masked individual, because that's truly fascinating. And then, kind of break myself away from it. I recognize that they're anchored, and that they're using their tender vessels, so we are going to pass as, unless we are hailed and commanded to stop.
They're right by Defiance. So if you pass them, you will pass Defiance.
Okay. Well,
which is fine from a plot standpoint.
Well,
I just need to know.
Yeah, no, for sure. I mean, our intention was to stop at Defiance because even though our intention now is to not trade our goods at Defiance,
there's still information.
Philip and Lee were pretty keen on the idea of stopping there. So yeah, well, even though I will do my best to hide my nerves.
Okay.
Because I'm a little bit nervous because I've not seen this before. And I've never seen an actual the only masked person that I know is Lee, and you
He's
know,
a dick.
right? Well, no, but I don't know Lee's masked persona, right? I just know Lee, right? So I don't know. I don't have firsthand experience with this, right? So, but yeah, we'll treat it like it's any other, you know. And
Lee comes back up to and stands next to you. Is like, can I see?
yeah, absolutely. Here.
And I eventually see the guy. Do I know him?
Give me a 2d6 roll. It's just a high-low check. Really high, and I'll say yeah.
No!
Oh,
I rolled a Wayne.
you better hope he don't recognize you, because you and he didn't get along.
Lee's just like,
He was quite the loyalist house caller, so when you left, he didn't... It was like pissing on the flag. He didn't take too well to
Can I
it.
borrow your shaw?
Sure.
Thanks.
It's down.
I wrap it.
Oh, sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
Has Emily finished the book that Lee gave her?
Huck Finn, yeah.
So, on the way between towns, I want to give her my book on, basically my notebook on Defiance,
Okay.
where I've got, like, little rough sketches of the other roads and all the information I have on the town, just because this is the town we're going into. I'll let you look through my books before we go into any town, just so you know what I know about the town before we get there.
Okay. Thank you.
I've never seen Lee not be able to speak.
It would not go good for us if I had to talk to that gentleman.
Stay below deck.
On it. He's got his thing wrapped, like you can only see the top of his eyes. He's got the shawl wrapped around, and Lee goes down below.
All right. Well,
Wonder what that was about.
Yeah, I'm assuming that protocol would be I hail the docks and ask for permission to dock.
No, it's just...
You just pull up.
Yeah.
It's like a parking lot.
Pretty much.
Right.
No, I mean, you're thinking way
Great.
too sophisticated.
All right, we'll pull up. You
Something
know,
like
have Casey
safety.
have Casey use the boat crook to pull us in and start commanding people to start mooring. You know, tying ropes,
Yeah.
etc.
Actually, before you tell Casey to do that, when Lee goes down below deck, I'll go to Casey. Is it any problem for you to be seen by him?
No, he may not like it, but it's legal.
Okay.
Signed off by the overseer himself.
Just didn't want you to get in any trouble.
He may not like it. There's no trouble he can get us into.
As we're pulling in, like I said, I'd never seen Lee act like that, so I just stand on deck and just stare at the masked man.
Okay. As best as you can see him, it's a little hard to make out.
Yeah, I'm
but,
just staring in their direction.
I'll hand him the rifle scope.
yeah, as you look at the boat, you do catch one or two of them. Well, I'll say you do catch one or two of them scoping you back, but it doesn't seem threatening. It's more they're using their scopes the same way you are.
Right.
It's just theirs happen to be on rifles.
Right.
Yeah,
But
what a
it's
coincidence.
just more of the same thing. Of they just kind of seem to look the boat over and then go back to what they were doing. They don't actually like take any shots at you. Or
Then, and then I just hand it back. I say, "Suppose that mask is bulletproof."
I would wager no.
Okay.
But we shouldn't have any trouble.
Okay.
The rest of the costume under that might be, though.
Okay.
All right, as you guys pull up to the smaller docks, you are very close to some of the smaller tender boats from this patrol ship. And I say patrol ship, this is what would have been a patrol ship pre-war. But you pull up next to several of those, and you get the longshoremen, and you guys get moored up and tied in. And as they're just being sort of conversational, one of them does start to ask you, so what brings you boys out to Defiance or whatever. But before he gets more than a few words into it, he's interrupted by somewhat nasally voice. Excuse me. And you see a kind of rotund guy. You recognize him from before, or probably recognize.
Oh, that's a great word.
rotund guy, kind of mouthy looking eyes, glasses.
From St. Louis with Pops?
Yep. And he's like, excuse me, my name is Cyrus. I'm Cyrus Weiss. Pleased to make your acquaintance. Are you James Owen Kreider?
I am.
And are you the rightful successor to the legacy of Mr. Reeve?
You mean Pops?
She opens his book and flips through a few pages.
I'm sorry, Dan, what was Cyrus's last name again?
Weiss.
Weiss, thank you.
I kind of... He'd be the man that spit in your book.
Well, he didn't spit.
That's the one. And I hope we won't have a repeat of that. Mr. Kreider?
Yes.
So that is indeed you.
I am.
Could you please step to the side? There's something that I need to discuss with you and your compatriots.
Tell you what, why don't you come on board? We can discuss it in the hold.
He kind of looks sidelong at the tender vessels who don't seem to think he's as important as he seems to think he is. And they don't give him really two good looks, but upon at least looking to them for validation and then not really getting it, he unsurely says, okay. And he
All right,
very awkwardly
come aboard. I'll offer him a hand.
he takes it and
I'll
he
pull him
climbs
over,
on
yep.
board, and nearly teeters and falls on his ass in the process, but he's got his big old book and his fountain pen.
All right. I turn to the crew. All right. When everything gets sorted out here, we're moored in. You gentlemen are free to go ashore. Emily, Philip, Motomar, we need you below decks to discuss some business with Mr. Weiss here.
And you hear below decks, leave your pants on, Motomar.
And we'll take him below decks and say, Mr. Weiss, this is Motomar. This is Mr. Carstars. This is Lee. I'm sorry. What's your last name again? I don't have it written down.
Lee 6 coins.
That's your money.
No.
At McCormick is what I did.
McCormick. Thank
He
you.
didn't give
I
me-
do have it written down.
He didn't
I
give me a
suck.
name, so I just named him. His
Yeah.
name is
So
McCormick.
this is Mr. McCormick, and this is Ensign Amelie.
That's quite charming. 2 ranks, one captain and one ensign.
Yeah.
Very good. That's fine. I'm not here for an inspection. I actually come bringing a message. There's an individual that very urgently wishes to meet with you. She has something to discuss, and I'm here to pass along that invitation.
All right. And who's she?
Well, to cut straight to the chase, the Duchess herself is here. Duchess Chad is the...
Archer's code name.
Yes. It is, actually, but no, that's not what I was going for. The Duchess is the sort of self-given noble title to the head of House Caller.
What do I know about her?
Never probably interacted with her, saw her in passing a few times. Regal woman, elegant, very well spoken, very intelligent.
What was the gossip about her?
Not a bad person, but incredibly cunning.
Okay.
This was not somebody that you wanted to piss off unless you really knew how to play the game.
And she's the head of House Color?
Yes.
I shoot Philip a look, like, kind of...
What would she want with us? We're just merchants.
Well, they actually didn't entrust me with that message. All they entrusted me with was a person you're to meet with who will take you to the place that she's staying.
She's staying here we're in Defiance? She's staying here in Defiance?
Temporarily, not permanently, is my understanding.
And who did they request come see her?
Well, The lot of you.
The lot of us. By name?
Yes. Yes.
What names?
Well, he opens his book. She's specifically requested Captain James Owen Kreider, may go by the name of Joe, and is the legal heir to one Popeye Pops Reeve.
Popeye.
Right.
Oh, I get it.
And
And also for Lee McCormick and his escort, Casey Hale. And
Casey Hale's a free man.
You're not being imprisoned. This is not a...
Oh, I know we're not.
I look at you. Called you out specifically by name.
Philip Carstairs? Carstairs, a peculiar name. Yes, Philip Carstairs. And then also, no surname provided. Matamar?
Prison.
Okay.
It's a mononym.
Mm-hmm.
Ah, very good. An aspiring performer.
I slick my hair to the side.
Yes, weren't we all at one time?
That's what I wanted to know.
And, yes. So, there is an individual that will meet you just inside of town. He will introduce himself as Timid. He will recognize you, and he will then take you to see the Duchess.
Of course. And we will go straight away. And I also assume that any cargo we take on and cargo we take off, the boat and whatnot will not be taxed or levied because we are here obviously on official business. I want to roll my social to kind of like try to intimidate him.
Sure.
Like kind of
give me your social, and I will give you the benefit of your
my recognition.
Yeah, your inability to
Disguise who I am.
precisely.
Okay. And so that's the two.
It's 2d6, but you cannot critically fail.
Okay.
Because you're trying to.
Whoa!
6 and a 5, and my social's 10.
So 21. He's like, Mr. McCormick, you have to know that this isn't even our territory. This is under the jurisdiction of how.
Make it happen. Thank you. And I start walking out.
Okay. He runs off, and he's now hounding around some of the locals who are like making kind of migraine sort of motions every time he gets close to them, but he's chasing them around trying to get them to sign off on a piece of paper. And finally he gets some poor guy who you don't even know what he scribbles something on a line, which he then takes back to the boat, and then noticing you guys aren't there, ends up giving it to Alejandro. And
When he's out of earshot, look at you. They knew us all by name, including you, who have only been on a couple of trips.
Everybody knows me.
And Casey, by name?
He's famous. You heard him sing.
Yes.
my singing voice aside, I was part of the deal that got him out. My name's on the exact same paperwork.
I don't like that they know everyone on the boat.
It's not exactly secret.
I look over at Emily and like, I don't know her.
True.
Look, let me shatter any delusions you may have. Nobody walks into your house without you knowing they're in your house. These towns, they believe they're independent. They believe that they're setting their own future. They're not. This is all their house. They own all of this. They know what goes on here.
Well, look down at Emily. Ensign, how would you like a trip on land?
Aye, sir. Where to?
Well, I don't know. We're gonna meet a man about a duchess.
No, that's not a joke.
No, Mudamar, it's not a joke. So, Lee, are we safe? Should we be concerned?
Oh, safe. Absolutely not. But we should think about, like, buying some stuff and getting on the boat, because it's going to be duty-free.
A big smile at that.
I go on up.
Okay.
All right.
You guys head inland. Defiance is larger than Herman in terms of the area that's currently, as of this time era, considered Defiance, is larger than Herman, but it's a significantly lower density. So there might be a house or a cluster of houses or a cluster of buildings or something like that, and then there's a larger space before you hit the next one. But the terrain overall, fairly similar, foothills, heavily wooded. And you guys follow the old broken up concrete roads through the town, and you don't have to walk in very far before a guy in a long black coat, sort of a sunken-eyed look to him, bright bluish eyes, almost kind of a ice blue color to them, walks over to you. Doesn't even take a perception check. Very obvious he's got some kind of gun on his hip. Comes over to you and says, "You the ones I'm supposed to lead?"
Are you timid?
That's what they call me.
Well, then we're the ones you're supposed to lead.
All right. We're going to try and make this quick. We're going to make this easy. Follow me. You don't talk. You don't ask any questions. I got to get you to a place called the Foundation House. Foundation House is where the Duchess is. There's tensions between Collar and Holloway, and I don't want you caught in the middle of it. I'm not allowed to have you caught in the middle of it. That's why they sent me. Come this way.
All right. Like I said, absolutely not safe.
Kind of fall back, trying to signal Philip, or I'm sorry, signal Lee to fall back with me. What? We're not supposed to talk.
This town seems like it's in dispute. You know how there was some tension in Herman?
Mm-hmm.
They almost poured gasoline on your new ensign and all that. I imagine something similar is going on here. And yeah, it's just not...
So are they just taking us to be lectured to?
Oh, I have no idea what the Duchess is going to... I would imagine we are in a position to do her a service that she is going to ask us to do. And I also imagine that she is going to ask us to either do it for free or for no money out of some patriotic duty or out of fear and respect for her power. At which point, Philip will negotiate a reasonable price, and hopefully we get out with our lives and some profit.
Great.
I follow right behind Timid,
Okay.
and if he looks like he's going to go for his weapon, or if any of the other guys say it, I've got my hand on my knife, and I'm going to put it right in his brainstem.
Okay.
I love him so much because earlier he was playing rolling on his back like a dog with a little girl, and now he's like, I'm gonna smoke this fool. If he looks at me wrong or Joe snaps his fingers, this dude is dead.
It's like he actually is a dog.
All right, he leads you guys along a low path through town, and eventually comes to a... You think once upon a time it was a garden. It's now very overgrown with ivy and weeds. There might be a few flowering plants that aren't flowering currently sticking out here and there, but for the most part, this whole place is just overgrown junk. But in the middle of that garden, once again, you're on the lower part. Okay, so you're not up one of the foothills, one of the lower parts. He pulls back some of the ivy and some of the vines and such, and there's a creaking iron like gate that leads into what looks like might be a wine cellar. You're not exactly sure, but he opens it up and he goes into the darkness, and he motions for you guys to follow.
All right, let's follow.
All right, once you guys are inside, the temperature drops a little bit farther in here. The air is a little bit more damp, and you pretty quickly realize this is not a wine cellar. This appears to be some kind of an underground tunnel. You're not sure when it was constructed. It may have been built above an old wine cellar. Maybe even a wine cellar goes off of it, but this appears to be a tunnel of some kind. It's maybe about 8 feet in each direction, so 8 feet wide, 8 feet tall. You can walk a little bit close, shoulder to shoulder, to abreast, and it winds here and there and has a few steps up and steps down, and every so often you're splashing through puddles. And everyone, give me a perception check. Motomar, you may make it perception and scouting.
Is it eyesight based?
Yes.
Excellent. All right, so
14. 16.
14.
18.
Okay. Motomar, you and you alone notice this because of the fact that he's right in front of you. You guys turn a corner and walk a few steps, and then he immediately drops to the ground. What do you do? 5.
I drop on top of him and put my knife to the back of his head.
Okay. That is...
Do I notice anything with the 16?
You certainly noticed that. Okay, so...
And all I say is, down!
All right, so...
I know you're probably on initiative, but I'm moving to cover Emily. Basically, make sure she's behind me.
Well,
Get human shield.
fortunately, you guys won't be too bad off. Okay, roll 2d6 and add speed to it.
12.
Also 12.
12.
Wow.
Okay, so
Wayne,
you guys are...
did you
Seven.
get 12?
7.
Okay.
The memo said 12, Wayne.
I rolled a 1 and a 2, and,
Well, you tried.
and speed was a dubstep.
Okay, actually, Emily goes first.
Nice.
Emily kind of disappears off to the side into the darkness. You have literally no ice.
She has psychic powers.
Yeah,
Right.
she casts some spell.
invisibility.
She casts a spell, and she seems to have utterly disappeared. Chad, Brodor, and Eric, all of you guys are at 12. Who's doing what and in what order?
So we're in essentially this. In my mind, I'm picturing a long, dank, sort of underground tunnel that's
Yes.
poorly lit.
Yes.
Right. So there's really no cover.
No.
Right. And we just know that
He
Timid
yelled
went down.
down.
Right. Timid went down. Motomar went on top of him with the knife and yelled down.
Yes.
So I am going to drop prone, but I'm going to try to grab my pistol out and basically, aim forward a little, aim forward as best I can while dropping prone as well.
Okay, that's all totally no problem. Chad?
Lee stands there, basically kind of doing the what? He's just slack-jawed, like something going on, and that's what he's doing.
Okay. Eric?
All right, so he dropped down. Did he go for his weapon at all?
No.
So he just laid down.
He just laid down.
Okay. So, is there any is there any water on the? Are we walking through water at this point?
Nothing all that particularly deep, but yes.
Okay. So yeah, what I'll do is I'll have his face like half submerged in the water with
Okay.
my knife up to his temple,
Okay.
and I'll say, I can slice your melon right here. I can do it right here.
Okay.
But I am going to give him a chance to do something. I'm not just going to outright gank him.
He poops a little.
Okay, let's see. Cover every color. Fairly impeded vision. That's going to help you guys. Target is still. Okay.
I'm not still. I'm just slack-jawed.
That's pretty much still. But you are.
Like I said, I'm slack-jawed. That protects me.
Ooh, that doesn't look good.
That looks better.
Okay. Brodor, are you wearing any armor at all?
That's a negative, sir.
You're wearing literally no armor.
So the only armor I would have would be my heavy coat. But as we discussed, I believe during session 0 character creation, it did not provide much armor.
Man, you do have neat handwriting.
I know, his handwriting's like a freaking font.
It is.
It's from, I'm telling you, it's from dyslexia that I am very calculated and deliberate when I spell out letters.
Brodor, under injuries and diseases, put wound 7 head.
Oh, jeez.
Wow.
Something.
See, hitting the deck does nothing. I might as well just stand up.
That sounds really bad.
Right, they're even low.
Chad, exact same thing.
On the head?
Yes, wound head 7. Do you have armor?
Yes.
Okay, what
Did you roll head?
Yes, I saw it.
Jerk. Yeah, no, I just have worked metal chest.
Yeah, the head is the one place you don't have armor.
Yeah.
Okay, so right down under injuries, wound head 7. For both of you, you felt something like a hot poker just suddenly pressed into your skull. Okay.
Ow.
There are 2 deafening bangs, just one after the other.
Okay.
Bright flashes of light, and you, Mortimer, having hit the deck, you can hear things bouncing off the walls, and it's just this horrible, horrible noise. Your ears are ringing. You're disoriented.
Okay.
The guy underneath you is trying to wrestle against you. He's trying to turn against you.
Okay.
Okay. So you may pick between either strength or agility as your better attribute, and give me 2d6 with it.
Okay. So that would be 12.
Okay, he beat you.
Okay.
All right, so he now has control of the melee. So he has thrown you off of him.
Okay.
And you are now back just back a step or 2.
Okay.
He basically managed to kind of slip himself free, put both feet under you, and just kick you back and off of him.
Okay.
So he is now free of you.
All right.
Okay, Wayne.
Going the direction that Emily went.
Let's see if you can pursue her. Give me a 2d6 plus perception check to see if you can even.
She does have her psychic screen up.
Yes.
I was going to say, he's going to follow her to the Shadow Realm? How is he going to do that?
So, 7, 8, 14, 15.
Okay.
You do go to the Shadow Realm.
Wayne, where you follow her is she didn't per se go anywhere because there's really nowhere to go, but just because it's dark and the people, you're not sure they would have any better way of seeing down here than you do. She simply dropped to the floor and is scurrying to try and get beside or behind these individuals.
Okay. I do have my leather duster on.
Okay.
And I said I'm following her. Especially if she's about to get herself into where they're at and in more danger. I'm just trying to protect her.
Okay. Top of the round, Emily, now beside one of them, jumps on his back. And I will only take head, torso, or arms for this. Torso. And she takes a knife and puts it deep into one of them.
Oh, she's so sweet. Oh, she'll be like the ship.
I'm the one that said she was the devil. I said it. You play it back. It's on there.
She takes a knife and drives it right between the ribs of one of them into their chest, and he gasps and deeply, and doesn't sound good. Wayne? Well, actually, no, wait. Wayne's the... You three.
So a 7, like if that were a scale, like say a 0 is you're feeling really good, and what is the other end where you're just straight ready to die?
At a 10, you would have been killed.
Okay, so then I am rolling around on the ground screaming.
You can still act. There are built-in penalties for acting under that wound.
You don't want that.
Okay.
I'll just scream.
Okay.
So can I get my bearings? And do I see a target? I mean, I know that I've been rocked, and that it's probably a folly to actually discharge my pistol in this environment. But I just wanted to see if I can get a lay of the land, and if I can get
do
a
you
target.
see them? No, but from the flashes, do you have some sense of where they are? Yes.
All right.
And you have no idea that we or her are over there.
What about timid?
You actually would.
Because
he's on the ground, so
Right.
it's going to be a little harder to hit. But yeah, you would know exactly where Timid is.
Well, so I mean, my gut is that Timid is involved, but I'm not certain if Timid is involved. So I would like to limb him. I'd like to try to shoot him in the leg.
Okay.
As your lawyer, I advise you to consider what you're about to
Someone who's
do.
about to shoot you instead.
So
I don't see anybody who's going to shoot me, right? I mean, and that's the board state, right? I don't actually see anybody, correct?
that's correct. You're not sure they see you either.
But I got hit, so somebody's firing blind.
Yes.
All right, then I'm gonna try to roll back and basically sort of try to prop myself up against the wall a little bit so I'm braced, and I'm gonna point my gun at Timid and tell him not to move.
Okay. So
Stay where you're at.
So you're going to try and intimidate Timid into.
Yeah. I'm gonna try to
remaining timid.
intimidate him. Yeah.
Intimidate
Yeah.
him. Okay. Motomar, you are in the same set.
Right. So Joe's yelling at, but I've got ringing ears and everything.
Yes.
What I'm going to do is I'm just going to roll up on Timid. I'm going to put my knife right in the back of his knee.
Okay.
You're walking like Chester from Gunsmoke.
Let's see.
And what does a bullet do?
Makes the knife fire harder.
That's exactly what it does.
I've got a projectile knife.
Okay. To specifically do a call channel blade, you're going to need a 15.
Okay.
As to your question of what a bullet does exactly, a bullet can do the following. It can give you a bonus D6 to the check.
I will spend a bullet.
Okay. You can pass me the bullet.
You got it.
All right. So roll 3d6, and it's not pick the best two. It is you have 3d6.
Okay.
And add it to your agility.
Agility?
Yes.
Okay. Damn.
Damn,
12.
you rolled a Wade.
Excellent.
Can I spend a bullet again?
Ye-
He rolled a 1 and 1 and a 3.
wow.
Yeah.
I'll allow it. Yeah.
To re-roll the whole set, or
I'll let you reroll the whole set.
okay.
Don't look at the dice, Wayne. You looked at the dice, Wayne.
So that would be, let's see, that's 10. That's 14.
Wayne looked at the dice.
Bullet again.
It's up to you.
I'll do it again. Don't look at my dice.
There you go. That's better.
So that would be
I looked at that one, it came up a 2.
It did. The one that came out 2 was just in your vision. The other 2 weren't.
so that would be 16, 17, 18.
Okay. Now roll 2d6. It's the knife damage.
See?
9 damage.
Okay. You have.
He's gonna need some physical therapy after that.
Oh, he may never walk again. At least not right. You took that knife and you went for the kneecap, but it's real soft tissue right there. You may have come down a little harder than you meant to. Quite frankly, you were 1 point of damage away from severing the leg.
Okay.
So you came in right at the joint with a big, fat old survival knife that probably actually is meant for a kitchen.
Right.
And you put it right through one of the worst places you could. and he screams in pain.
Yeah, and as he probably rears up, and I'm just going to grab him and kind of use him as a human shield.
You can use Lee as a human shield if you want.
Well, no, you're hit too, so.
If that's
much
allowed,
longer.
if I have enough movement to do that.
Okay. You guys, no, that's fine. It's as much as you damaged him. Saying I'm going to have him in front of me is quite reasonable. He is okay. Timid is not moving. The guy that got stabbed is trying to get Amelie off his back. Okay, he rolls an 8 plus strength. She rolls a 10 plus agility. He is not getting her off.
She's like a tick.
She's actually rolling, I mean, above board rolling, but both of her actions, she's not a ninja. She's just really been rolling that well.
She's an emissary of Muad'Dib.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, not that it's easy to hear. Well, I don't know if you guys can
I
hear
don't think
much
she
of
would shed water for
anything.
the dead.
All right, so, actually, wait,
Call her Emily of the
Wayne.
Okay,
Yeah.
so she had jumped on the one guy and stabbed him.
Yes.
Do I see another one since I'm over there by her?
You can barely catch an image in the dark who appears to now be running back up the corridor, or running
The other
away
direction?
from you guys. Yes,
Okay, so the only person I see is the one that Amelie's with, then, right?
correct. Well, the other one you still see, but he's not.
But he's not a danger right now. He's running away.
You hope.
Not an immediate danger.
Maybe he's going to get help.
All right, probably is. I am going to stab at the one that Amelie's fighting. I'll
Okay.
try to help her finish him.
Is that for extra
Yep, an extra
chance to hit or extra damage?
extra chance to hit
Okay. So,
because my agility's 4.
all right. Well, hold on here. Base is
Okay.
6. Shit lighting takes it up to a 12. Target is still takes it down to a 3. So all you need is a 9. You're not calling a shot on anything.
So got it.
Okay. Roll this.
Left arm.
Okay, so as they're sitting there kind of struggling around, you come in with a knife and it hit him in the left arm.
9.
And you
What
put
do they
it,
call that? The brachial artery?
yeah, you put it, Wayne, you land it like right into like between the shoulder blade and the clavicle. You put it into a bad spot for him.
Basically, what I see is he's trying to throw Amelie off, and this is the little girl that reminded me of my sister. So I lunged at him.
Well, and you were not incorrect in terms of. She kills him.
Well, let's say they kill them. They kill them together.
No, she put a knife through his heart. There's the roll right there. She drew a knife through his
Now
heart.
remember, she hasn't signed the contract yet.
I look at her. And
Oh, actually, no, I'm sorry. I didn't roll location. She's on the back. I'll take a look. Yeah, she put a knife through his heart.
I look at her. As far as Joe knows, I got the kill. You did nothing.
She pulls this bloody knife out. Timid is on the ground, screaming. And
I'm trying to match him.
well, I mean, it's a scream off.
It is.
You might be more panicked. He's actually more injured.
Oh yes, he's definitely more injured. Lee is definitely more scared and injured. I don't know.
But yeah, I'm trying to. Don't let Joe know you were willing to do this. I did it.
She takes the knife and kind of, turns over her hand. Can't really see it in the dim light. I mean, can a little bit, but not real well. But she kind of starts wiping it on the clothing of the guy she stabbed. What are you two doing? Joe, you feel there's blood pouring down the side of your head.
Well, I'm going to try to stand up. I mean,
Okay.
Modamar's got timid, got the situation under control. So I'm going to, assuming, head burning, blood in eye, I'm going to use the wall to brace myself, pistol in front of me, and I'm going to move in the direction where I last saw Philip and Emily. I'm going to try to move that direction toward them with my pistol out and try to, if I can see any other assailants.
The light's very dim. It's not completely pitch black. It's very dim in here. There are there is some light coming from the entrance as far back as it is. There are other places where the ground does break through, particularly on the hillside of this tunnel, and it does let in a little bit of light. So it's very dim, but you can see somewhat in here. And as you don't go more than a couple steps forward before you find Phil and Emily, and one of the assailants is dead on the ground. He's completely unmoving. Okay. You can smell that horrid, acrid smell of blood.
And I don't know, I'm kneeled down.
Are you okay?
Yeah. The other one went running down.
Was there
probably bringing help?
Was there any place to get cover the way we came in? Like, is there a place where we can make a stand?
You'd have to run back for the entrance.
We'd have to run. All right, let's go further in.
So he's screaming.
Timid, yes. Yeah. Oh yeah.
All right, so I got a handle in his hair. And I was like, "Go with it. Just go with it. Let it go."
Philip,
I'll tell you, there's at least one further down.
Philip is coming. I don't think I can catch him.
You hear a quick, rapid succession burst fire, 3 shots.
All right, I'm going to stagger out. The rest of you find cover. See if that man's armed. If he's got a gun, take it.
All right, I check him.
Joe?
Yeah, he has a dead man's gun on him.
All right, keep him alive for now.
Right.
He's got the packs if you want to attempt to reload it.
I'm not going to. My struggle is guns.
Okay.
So I won't fire a firearm. Yeah, but I take the gun because it can still be used for intimidation.
Okay. So note that you have Dead Man's gun, and you also have an oiled pouch. You ever seen an old ammo cartridge pouch from like Revolutionary Civil War era, where it was like a series of almost like cylindrical chambers in like a pouch you carry on your hip that had the packs of the gunpowder and the shot and all that stuff in it. So it's like that. There's 11 shots left in it. So you have 11 shots for it.
On second thought, make sure take Timid's gun. Make sure he's not armed. Mudamar, why don't you come with me?
All right, I'll pull his gun out of his holster.
Okay.
And I say, "Shut up, or I light you on fire."
He's not shutting up.
I'm gonna put this. I've got the scope in one hand just in case, and my pistol in the other. And I'm still kind of. I'm sure that there's got to be some dizziness and confusion. But I'm going to try to basically move that direction. Toward the sound of that gunfire to figure out what happened.
Okay.
I'm going to say back to Motomar, we need him to be quiet. He's going to give away our position. Out of character, I know exactly what that's probably going to mean. In character, I have no idea.
All right, I'll just I'll try and just knock him out by bashing his head up against the wall.
Okay.
Because then I'm going to follow Joe. I don't want him going off by himself.
Hold up.
I can't stop. No, my lizard brain. It's just.
So the great thing about the parsnip chips is that they're actually
what is your
low calorie and very low carbohydrate.
Body?
Yes, your body.
8.
8. Okay, give me a d6 plus 4.
You're a beast.
D6 plus 4. That would be an 8.
Okay. You slam his head up against the wall. It's bloody, but he stops yelling.
I just let him go.
Okay.
Then I'll follow behind Joe.
You guys,
2 net carbs for 12 chips.
if you can find some place to hide, do it. Let's go.
Lee is on the ground, grabbing his head, yelling. He's rolling around.
Once we get into a little bit of light, can I've got reliability in treating traumatic injuries. So can I Maybe get that to stop bleeding.
Yes. Okay. So hold on. It's 2d6.
He's got spit in the wound.
Yeah. Not that I don't want to be healed, because I do. But do we have time?
Well, I mean, he's just going to use some duct tape. So
That was going to be my question. Is, do you have the supplies?
Nope.
I didn't think so.
Right.
I was like, here's what you were going to bandage him with.
So I could sort of see Modamar, stopping and looking at my head, and I'm, kind of, batting his hand away. Later. Jesus, later.
Oh, he cut you to the bone.
All right, and let's make our way toward the way we came in. I mean, I don't know how far that is, but we just want to see if where was the source of that 3 rapid shots that we just
That
heard?
was deeper in. It was the direction that the guy ran.
Right. So so I'm sorry, I'm a little bit confused. I thought he was heading back toward the entrance.
No, he was headed back towards the opposite end of the tunnel.
All right. Well, then let's go then that's the direction we want to go. We want to go deeper in.
Okay. All right. So you guys go a little bit. Are you settling him down somehow?
they left.
We did. We left him with Philip.
Yeah.
I'm going to try to. I have no medical skills to heal him.
Well,
But
I think he's more scared.
Yeah.
Well, not scared, but freaked out. I mean, he just got, everything was fine. Hey, we're going to do this deal. That's his thing. All right, this is going to be crazy. Pow! Ah! And he's like...
oh, what's Casey doing?
Did you guys bring Casey with you?
I
were
would
told to.
assume... Well, I was assuming not, because he would have gone crazy.
Yeah, Hale's name was on the list.
Crap, I completely forgot about him. My bad. Okay.
That would have gone down... Let's say he didn't come along. Because I think that would have gone down totally.
It would have gone down totally
Like,
differently.
he probably would have grabbed me and threw me down. He
Yeah.
would have been attacking. And yeah.
It would have gone, and he actually does have armor and things like that, so it would have gone very differently if he'd been there.
Let's just say the guy didn't put his name on the list.
Okay.
And we had him stay with the boat to guard the boat.
So first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to... Emily, are you okay?
She's still rubbing her ears a bit. She's like, that shit was loud.
Oh.
Yeah, mop.
I point back at Lee. We've got to calm him down. I walk over to you. Lee, it's going to be okay.
Roll your social.
That I have.
I love making people roll dice as the game master.
All right, so 17.
Yeah, okay.
I'm basically reminding you of some time when we were a kid that
and
you were
shot
hurt.
me in the face.
No, that you were hurt and you cried like a baby and it was all okay. And
Yeah, he
He reminds you of the time you guys went hunting with Dick Cheney.
So what exactly happened to me, Dan? He used a dead man's gun. So it's
Yes.
just like it was just a bunch of shit.
Yeah,
So,
basically it's a bunch of shit like...
so I've got like little pieces of metal and rock and crap sticking out of my head.
Yeah.
As described in episode 2 of Lookout Radio.
Right.
Yeah.
So both my eyes work.
Yeah.
Okay. And I feel my ears are my ears intact?
They're ringing.
Sure. And I'm like cut up and
Yeah, you're cut up bad.
do I have any? I mean, I'm guessing my bell got rung really hard. Do I have any like fracture? I'm just kind of going over what's the damage here? Did I get teeth knocked out, or am I just like fucked up? I just got this. I got to pick this.
It's more of that.
Right.
This stuff's going to be picked out, but with the right treatment, you're probably going to have some scars.
Sure.
But this can be fixed. This is not.
Yeah.
This is a bad wound, but this is
Right.
not in the range of you're about to die.
Yeah, and it isn't a serious maiming. I didn't lose my nose or my eyes. Or
No.
anything.
A couple points higher, you were right on the cusp of
Right.
that. Point or two higher, and it would have been very different.
Okay, so I probably like have a concussion, but
don't worry, you're not going to be any uglier.
I look good. People like me. And I'm standing there, and you see his eyes kind of like roll. His eyes go all white, and he kind of falls into you, and then he shakes his head, and he's like, "Wow, this is not good." He like rubbing his head. He's like, "My head really hurts.
I try to get you to sit down.
It isn't hard. Where's everybody? Did we get them? What happened?
Got one of them.
Okay.
They're chasing the other.
Brodor and Joe and Motomar, as you guys get up the hallway, you hear toward it, you stumble across the body of the guy that was running away. He is laying face down, feet towards you. So in other words, he was running away from you guys when he was shot dead. So whatever shot him is beyond him. And as you guys look up into the darkness, there's a spark and then a flare. And you can see a guy crouched down, lighting a candle on the floor. And he's holding what appears to be a pre-war submachine gun in his right hand.
A what? It's got a submachine gun?
And upon seeing you guys, he just puts a finger to his lips and just kind of like this. And then you can see past him, there are stairs leading up. And he motions you guys to those stairs.
So I put my finger to my lip, acknowledging, nod, but then I'm going to point back the direction of the hallway, and I'm basically going to hold up, 3 fingers, and put my thumb back that direction.
Okay. He leans in close to you and he whispers. I'm going to speak so the mic picks it up, but he whispers, and he says, "Grab them and get them to these stairs and up these stairs as quickly as you can. If there's anyone coming behind you, I'll cover you. Don't look back. Leave that to me.
Okay.
Go." And he, staying low, he takes off, SMG up, going down the hallway, leading you guys kind of in a run back to the group.
All right.
I guess we'll probably hear him coming before anything else. If he's running, wouldn't his footsteps be echoing?
You need a perception check that beats a 15.
Okay. Nope.
Okay, you do not hear him.
So, but I don't know if they'll hear us, but presumably...
Oh, okay, yeah, never mind. Yeah, you hear a bit of a stampede.
We'll come shuffling back.
Well, I don't know, Motomar. He's got scouting skill. He could actually stealth us.
I don't choose to.
Yeah, you hear Joe anyway. You crack it.
Right, because I'm still a bit staggery, shuffly. I'll probably also, much like Lee, concussed.
Yes.
So real world, it's like 10:15. I should probably get going soon. I don't know.
Okay, no, that's fine.
Where's a good stopping point?
I tell you what we can do then is next time we will pick up with going up the stairs.
Okay.
Because that's I don't know that this is a good stopping point, but on the flip side, I don't know there's a good stopping point once you get up the stairs either.
Right, I think it's a good cliffhanger.
So
right, because who is Mysterious Man? Who are people who waylaid us? How bad are our injuries?
Yeah.
Why is Amelie, well, as I said earlier, the devil?
And why do you want to sign a contract with the devil?
Yeah. What do you think?
I mean, I figured, if I'm going to go big.
Right. I mean, do you want to learn how to play the blues or what?
She's an innocent little girl. You don't know she killed the guy?
No, it's absolutely true. I do not.
Comments on the game, post-game type stuff quickly, and then we'll...
I love Emily. She's my favorite NPC so far.
She's like a murderous moppet.
And that beats Casey. So I like Casey a lot too, but I really like Emily.
I love Casey, and just that speech at the bow of the ship when we were talking about people who had good upbringings and realizing there was bad in the world, and people that had good upbringing or bad upbringings realizing that there is good in the world, and sort of trying to find that balance. I thought was great, absolutely great.
I liked it. I dug it.
Yeah. I like how Casey is much deeper than just a movie.
Yeah,
He has a wonderful singing voice.
Right.
He's a very famous person.
Although the dichotomy that is Motomar, I absolutely adore. I do.
I would love if somehow Joe ends up seeing Emily as, obviously she's conniving and all that, but if somehow I managed to keep him thinking of her as just a little girl, not being able to envision her doing violence.
Well, I mean, Joe is kind of
Naive.
blindly innocent. Yeah,
Yeah.
naive. So
That's like that would break him. This little girl.
Well, and it was. She's not combat skilled. She really did just roll that uncannily well.
Yeah.
But she also reacted to it in a way that killing the guy didn't traumatize her, it seems.
not yet. Maybe
Not
that's
yet.
not
Yeah,
right.
true.
She's still on adrenaline high too.
Which is why that was actually what I was asking her about when I asked if she was
And
okay.
she grew up in Herman. I mean, you got to think this is not a 13-year-old who grew up in modern day St. Louis.
Right.
Herman is kind of on the edge. It is civilization. It's been. I mean, Modemar came from somewhere,
Right.
Yeah.
and these people attacked Herman. I mean, it's.
True, but when I look
Well,
at
I'm not saying that she's on the front line.
Maybe
she's
her
seen
though,
death.
her grandpa is rich.
Right.
She's probably been. My character's assumption would have been that she had been a little more sheltered than other people.
Well, when the Ists come, they don't care how rich you are.
No, but the rich people have enough people defending them to keep her from having to fight.
Yeah, maybe it's sort of feudalist, right? That, she's taught to read, but she's also taught to fight.
Yeah.
So Modemar is going, from this moment forward, is going to truly believe that Emily can read his mind. and just kind of look at her, like, knowingly, like, you know what I'm thinking.
Can you read my mind? Do you know what I'm thinking?
Wow.
Good game. Yeah.
Yeah, no, I'm curious to see how injuries impact, because, for example, I have a wound 7, so can I have multiple wounds of
Yes.
varying ratings?
Yes.
All right.
Yeah, and different body parts
and the
too.
wounds inflict penalties.
So it's sort of Harnmaster-ish in that.
Yeah, you don't have a hit point pool. You have wound pool. You have wounds. The wounds inflict penalties, and the wounds also then they have 2 basic states you need to know about. They're either getting better or getting worse, and they're either infected or not infected.
Gotcha.
And those 2 things together can determine the path of the wound. Does the wound over time improve? So go from a 7 to a 6 to a 5 to a 4 to a 3 to a 2 to eventually it's just a scar, or does it instead work the opposite direction and eventually it becomes meningitis and you die?
Right.
And so that's really what matters.
So, I say something else noteworthy here. I think Brodor saw the dice, but for the listeners, at least, I love that you have hit location dice that you use for these.
A D12.
Yeah, if you didn't, you could easily make a chart and do the same thing like BattleTech's a chart. But where you hit people is actually a dice that's rolled. So when he says that you hit the torso or the right leg or the right arm, that's because the dice rolled and it came up right leg.
Yeah, and the only time I fudged that was when Emily was on the guy's back.
Yep.
I would not allow a leg hit because it made no sense. Anything else, I'd love a torso, arm, head, but I was not going to take a leg hit because she couldn't physically reach his leg. I thought this game had a, changing subject here real quick here because I want to wrap this up, but I thought this game had a somewhat different pace than the prior games. And I don't know that that's a bad thing. It's just a thing. But it did have a somewhat more introspective pace to it. There's a lot more intra-party RP intra-party, within the party RP.
And I suspect we as players will have a lot of that, just knowing what I know of me and Chad, and now seeing what I've seen of Brodor and Eric, I suspect we'll always have a lot of inter-party RP. As I know, I look for opportunities to do that, like going up and having that conversation with Joe about, have you told your parents and things like that.
And like the interplay that Lee had with Modemar was purposeful. Lee had an ulterior motive.
Right, that's why you asked Modemar and not me. Right, no. Out of character, I totally got that.
Yeah.
Right, in character, I have no idea that conversation occurred. But yeah, I was thinking to myself, well, I know why Lee is not asking Joe this question.
Right.
Yeah.
Cool. Alrighty, well, thank you guys for tuning in, and
No, it was a great
we'll
game.
catch
Thank
you next one.
Anyone want this cheese?